we're back.
I was at the Dudecast, and I was, hey, everybody.
That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Because this is my, hey, how you guys doing?
Can you be any more awkward?
Yeah, I could, if you wanted to. You want me to pull my dick out?
Yeah, sure.
There it is. Hanging dong.
Hang dong.
All over your table.
This podcast is for hanging dong.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Hey, it's weird today because Ben's not here.
It keeps throwing me.
Yeah, Ben's not here today. He's not in his normal seat, but we do have a guest on our podcast today. It's Ben.
Yeah. Hi.
Sitting in a different seat, which is weird. It's throwing me off.
The
but
chairs define the roles.
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Oh, that reminds me. I got your volume right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you two are the smart ones. So you have smart conversations, and I'm here to stare blankly at you both while you
Smart?
are intelligent.
I don't know if that's the case.
You're the new head of the table, Dave.
I'm at the dad chair.
You're at the dad chair.
I'm in the dad
You
chair.
took over the dad chair. A role that you didn't know just now that I occupied.
Is that how you had arranged the table in your head before?
Of course not. I would never, ever admit that to you. Out loud.
At a table with 4 seats, there's not really a head of the table.
Well, there is when there's only 3 of us,
That's true.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you were the dad.
I was the dad of the group. I'd like to think that I keep this podcast mature and on.
You bring a certain elder statesman quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a certain je ne sais quoi. A certain Genesis corn.
A certain I don't know qua.
But yeah, we're back. It's another episode of the Dudecast. We are just us 3 this week. We are coming off the wildly successful heist episode.
Yes.
Wildly successful.
With just as many downloads as every other episode.
Yeah.
Which is not many. I looked at it. I was curious, like, how we're doing on average. Because I always say it doesn't matter. And so I don't check. But we're, like, floating around 30 downloads on every episode for, like, ever.
That's pretty good. It's better than I thought we'd be doing.
That's actually more people than I could name that should. like if I was like,
Right.
if people were like, who listens? I would be like, oh, I can name about, like, 10 friends, maybe.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, we have listenership in other countries, which is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah. I wonder if they're still listening.
I don't know.
I wonder if the Australians are still listening.
Yeah. So if you are listening from another country, you
Help.
can, yeah, right, yeah. Yeah.
Please send the UN.
Please,
God. So bad.
get us out of here. I just want health care.
Who do I have to blow to get on a refugee boat? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
It's great.
it's great. Nothing's wrong here.
Drew texted me recently to say that there's a podcast she listens to that's from Akron or Cleveland, maybe.
Oh, yeah?
And she wants us to find them and do a crossover.
Oh, yeah? What's the podcast?
I already forget. But they're real funny, apparently.
Great.
Yeah.
Does she listen to us still?
Apparently.
Oh, great. Hey, Drew, how you doing?
I guess I'll find out if she texts me and says she listened to this.
Drew, you should come on the podcast. We miss you. We want to do another Ask the Dude segment.
It's still our most downloaded episode of all time.
Yeah, I was. Please, we need more people to listen to this. Please come on here.
Do we need it?
Our most popular segment.
No, seriously, that was our most, I would say, beloved, except I have no idea whether anyone liked it.
Let's not go crazy.
But yeah, we need to do that again. Ask the Dudes is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's basically just like come before the Dude Tribunal and we will solve your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
Will we?
super fun.
Is that what we did?
I guess, well, that was kind of it. It was like Dear Annie type letters, right? So it was, I got a problem, and then the dude solved it.
Right.
And then we check out the beat while the DJ revolves it.
Exactly.
Bing, ding, ding, ding. No, ours goes bum, 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 ba-da-dun-dun. Theirs goes bum, 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 ba-da-dun-dun.
Right.
It's different.
Do you guys remember from that episode the like fucking Scrooge guy who didn't want to give candy to the kids that came into his neighborhood on Halloween?
Yeah, because, they're black.
That's the only way that could have been
Yeah.
interpreted. But that still stands out to me as like the of all the questions. I think maybe 29 pallets of poop was involved in that episode.
He
I
said
can't remember.
he said something like in his ask the question was like, Halloween is not a charitable event, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the sole purpose of Halloween.
Halloween is about giving people candy.
Yeah, to avoid being threatened. It's literally it's like mafia.
It's a shakedown by children.
Yeah,
It's pranksterism as a threat, in extortion for sweets.
right.
And that's all it's ever been.
I respect the game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't respect that. I'm just saying, that is its sole purpose. You're there to charitably give to children under threat of.
Case in point, every year I hide and pretend I'm not home because I'm frightened of those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their shakedown.
Totally normal behavior. That's a totally normal reaction.
I know that's not normal.
Halloween.
Right. I know that's not normal.
You realize, of course, that if you wanted to, you could fuck those kids up.
I'm not sure.
I think you could.
It's the number of them.
You versus 100 kids. I think you could. Well, you know what?
There's just so many.
Thinking about that episode of Game of Thrones where all the little kids murder.
Yeah, that woman in the hard home episode.
She fucking kill the shit out of him.
God, that was so depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want to fight children.
But speaking of things that are, let's go to something less depressing. Why were we fucked this week?
oh yeah, why are we fucked?
Yeah. Oh
Why
God.
are we fucked?
Listeners, you remember how we said like a couple months ago that things were looking up for the dudes and the extended dude family? Yeah, they're not.
Not so much.
They're not so much. Things are not going well for us.
No.
Only for now. Mm-hmm. Only for now.
Yeah, and like the foreseeable future.
Optimist Ben, ladies and gentlemen. Optimist Ben.
I don't even know where to take that.
Roll out.
Roll out. I don't know. Today is stimulus payment day for a lot of people, so it should be a good day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not for me though.
Not for you.
And if it's not a good day for you, it's St. Patrick's Day, which means you should go home and get drunk and don't drive.
Yeah. All the amateurs will be out. Yeah, this is a perfectly sober St. Patty's Day for us.
Look at
right
us
now.
sitting here at a St. Patty's table without a beer.
For now.
I would like to point out that this time last year was our
Yep.
Was going to be.
well, it was going to be our St. Patrick's Day party, but this was the day. St. Patrick's Day was the day we recorded the Three Hot Dudes episode.
Wait, was it really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because I got fired from my job earlier that week, and then showed up here to do
Yeah, that's right.
the three hot dudes episode.
Yeah, and then I think that weekend was when we had planned for the party, and we decided to cancel it because of the murder virus.
Yeah.
That's
We
right.
still have the booze sitting in the other room. From that,
some of it.
Some of it. Let's not get crazy. I drank a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I had an entire year to drink that bar away.
Yeah.
But I do
Yeah.
have lots of empty bottles, so I know what to buy
For when we get there.
for when we, yes.
I got to tell you, like, since this pandemic,
Since this pedantic pandemic.
the pandemic has started.
Yeah.
Oh, Fred. It's the cleansing of the earth will be cleansed, Fred. It's good for the environment. Mother Earth.
Humanity is the real virus. It's the smell, if there is such a thing.
Mother Earth is going to shake us off like ticks on a dog's balls.
Hey, Fred, do you want to buy some magic crystals?
Ticks on a dog's balls?
I don't know. It was in my heart. It's the first thing that came
I
out.
realized dogs were particularly adept at shaking ticks off their balls.
Yeah, I don't know if they... Fleas was probably better.
Yeah, and even then,
Yeah.
how much motor control of your balls do you need to
Flick them.
flick them off there? I mean, I only have so much control of my balls.
That was actually that's a rhyme on the opening track of Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style.
Yeah, my balls just kind of have a mind of their own.
Yeah, just kind of rise and flow with the tides, the rise and fall kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys something weird and personal about me?
They can predict
Yeah.
the future.
I have
It's
really
like my spider sense.
I have really big balls.
Okay.
Like just really big like larger than the average. I don't.
Have you gotten screened for cancer?
Yes.
Okay.
And mumps.
Just the older I get, the bigger they become.
They just continue to grow.
They just keep getting bigger. I don't know if that's normal or not.
I don't know if it is.
I don't know.
I don't believe so. When's
Actually,
the last
no.
time you got screened for cancer?
That's a good point. I should actually,
balls should get longer with
they
time.
do get longer, but I mean, like they're meaty boys. They're like
like a big old meatball.
yeah, they're big.
Like a,
I don't. That's not a brag or like a.
no, I don't think anyone's particularly impressed.
But
by
you know
balls,
what?
But
Now that you guys say that, I should probably go get them checked. That's getting nervous now.
I think the most important thing is to make sure they don't trade places.
They
as long
have
as
not-
They stay on the right side of the scrotum.
You mean like that TLC show?
yeah,
Trading
right?
places?
Trading halves of the scrotum.
Yeah.
yeah.
They can, so they don't get tangled
Ball
together.
swap.
Ball swap. New for ABC.
Yeah, as long as they don't trade, but and you can, one of them's usually a little larger than the other one, so you can tell which ball should be on which side.
Yeah.
So just keep an eye on that.
They are, they're, but I got like, AC/DC, be damned. They're
The biggest balls of them all.
the biggest balls of them all.
I think sometimes my scrotum is like, I think it's just like very compact, and then other times it's all over the place.
Yeah, it depends on what your. Mine doesn't get compact anymore. It's just bigger.
Sometimes it's like a tortoise shell. It's like firm.
You throw it at like
I could like fire BBs off of it and they go like ping, ping. But like other times it's like jelly spreading over bread.
they're just all. The reason I realized this the other day when I was dancing in front of my wife, and I was naked and I was kind of just like flapping them around, that thing. It's trying to do the helicopter.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, they're like, I felt them. Like
Yeah, you kind of feel they're behind you by a bit.
It was like a wrecking ball. I think part of it too is that they were just sagging the older I get.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have saggy old man balls.
Definitely.
Yeah,
If you have it now.
We all are.
Yeah.
I think mine are gonna be like particularly. Maybe that's why I'm fucked. I'm gonna have like long balls.
Yours might fall out.
Yeah.
You might have a windsock scrotum.
The balls fall out. Yeah, they're. But yeah, maybe that's
What
why
about your
I'm
balls,
fucked.
Ben? How are your balls doing?
Good.
Last time I checked, they were doing okay.
Yeah. They ever just hurt for no reason? Sometimes mine just
Once
hurt
in
for
a
no reason.
while.
You gotta jack off more.
It's usually the right one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never pinned it down to one ball.
It's
or
almost.
the other.
It's almost. I don't think I've ever had it in the left one, but every once in a while, yeah, my right ball hurts.
Yeah, you get like a stabby pain in the ball, and you're like, I don't know what that is.
I don't get those anymore. I used to get them when I was younger.
Yeah.
I think it's all the raucous lovemaking.
I think my balls are just still developing.
Yeah,
At
maybe.
34.
just getting there. They're just dropping,
Yeah. It's
Anyway.
amazing the varying consistency in your balls from day to
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to hate listening to this.
Yeah, this is weird. Sorry I opened this Pandora's box of
You guys want to know a
testicles.
weird and totally unprompted fact about me? Huge balls.
Huge balls.
It's funny because if they're big enough, then
Yeah.
like you swing to the left and they're still going right.
Yeah.
And then you swing right and they're still going. Like, there's like a delay.
Like I said, there's no there's no braggadociousness there. It's just an observation.
No.
Everything else is totally just average.
What's the?
But
What are the prospects? Do you think of putting that on your resume? Other
Special
talents,
skills.
special skills. Possesses huge balls.
possesses.
In command of
Precious.
in command of exceedingly huge scrotum.
Yeah.
Effected various solutions at the regarding the handling of enormous testicles.
Has scrotum will travel.
The day-to-day operations.
Yeah. Acquired
Weird.
management experience managing these fat fucking balls.
Sorry. So maybe that's why I'm fucked. I don't know if that's a fucked or not. Someone else, please take the rugby ball off.
Yeah,
of me.
really?
Please. Let's move on from my balls. I don't know why I volunteered that information.
I'm glad you did though.
Me too.
Right. It just helps me build out the composite nude photo of you I have in my head.
I mean,
so
I
that's
could
great.
I could just get naked.
Yeah,
if
right.
You want.
Just whip them out.
I'm 30 years old. I got nothing to hide anymore. There's no like.
See, I feel like this is at the point, like when you're at this age, it's like not only do you have less to be private about, but you also have less to be proud of. So it's just, now you understand the old naked guy at the gym.
Yeah, right.
Who doesn't mind walking
Who gives a
around.
shit? Well, so like, you know,
He's like, no one has cared about this tackle in like 30
ages.
years.
Yeah, right. Well, it's the thing. Like it's been nice outside, so we've had the curtains open in the apartment a lot, and you know, we walk around naked a lot.
I mean, like,
and
fully naked with the curtains open?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And just like, well, like that's the thing. I've realized we've gotten to this point where it's like, whatever. I don't care if anybody sees.
You know, I get fully naked, like blinds partially drawn or like slats half
you
closed.
have to be looking like really hard. You got to really want to see us naked.
You've got to.
You got to.
You've just really got to want to see us naked.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, I used to be super paranoid about that, but I've come to realize when you're outside your house and you're looking at your own window, that because of how bright it is outside and how dim it is inside, there's more glare on your window. Mm-hmm. People really can't see in your window that much.
Right.
Yeah.
It still kind of bothers me. Like, if it's at night and the lights are on inside your house, everyone can see everything.
Right.
So, you know, just try to be naked during the day.
Right. Exactly. Seriously, I asked you to take this hand off from me.
I thought we could talk about your balls some more.
So
You want to keep going?
Remind me again why you said we were fucked?
Because he's got fat balls, Ben. Because he's got a gigantic, untamable scrotum that sways all over the place, out of rhythm with the rest of his body. It's like a fat bag of grapefruits. And he can't keep it in his pants or keep from sitting on it.
This summer, a man and his scrotum will have to learn to work together.
Seriously though,
But the FBI won't make it easy.
Seriously though, I've been that guy. So
You got to buy extra long shorts to keep them from falling out.
they just keep, you know.
Oops, my balls.
Seriously, please let's move on.
Oops, my balls, the Chris Brady story.
You opened this.
I know.
What the fuck did you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
Beg pardon, my balls, madam. Yeah.
That's some new British sitcom.
Beg pardon.
Coming up on BBC4, Pardon My Balls, madam.
It's like if Terrence and Phillip went to the UK.
So I'm fucked because of my
Enormous. I'm just writing fat fucking balls and moving on.
Yeah.
Ben, why are you fucked?
I'm not particularly fucked, but I think we, the you know, the collective we of society is
The royal we.
of society is kind of fucked because people give way too much of a shit about the royal family.
Yes,
Yeah.
I completely
Let's
agree.
talk about it.
I like. Excuse me. So I know a few Brits online through my gaming endeavors, and their general consensus is that most British people, and especially if you're from up north as well, really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
About the royal family in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the farther you get away from London, the less everyone cares.
Yeah, there's talking heads on, you know, in British media and you know, British correspondents in American news who are like, oh well, how dare Meghan Markle?
Markle.
Yeah, how
Meghan Merkin.
How dare
Merkin Mumfrey.
Meghan Man?
How dare Mega Man?
How dare Mega Man besmirch the good name of the royal family and
The good name.
the good
Yeah, the good name.
like what do? They don't do anything, right? There are certain executive privileges that the Queen has if like Parliament can't agree on something, or like you know, there are certain things that she's still able to do, but by and large, the government is just Parliament and the Prime Minister.
Correct.
There's not really like I think there's a significant population of people in this country who latch on to this like princess fantasy, you know, like it's some big, you know, big fairy tale kingdom
Well, so many of our like childhood stories are tied up in the majesty of royalty.
Yeah.
And the lives of like great wealth and excess, and the sort of fantasy of what that looks like.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so, seeing as Americans have no equivalent,
I think that's a symptom of capitalism, is that we like pining for that sort of
The Downton
ideal of luxury.
Abbey, lavish.
Yeah, you know.
I think that the reason that the British monarchy really exists is that it is an extension of this. They're not really necessary.
No,
exactly.
I mean their position is largely ceremonial.
Yeah,
It's ceremonial and symbolic.
It's for the pomp of the aristocracy that has largely been going away over the 20th century.
Right.
It's also a little bit of an aspirational thing. I mean, like,
Sure.
I have a hard time thinking that even those who like are very critical of the British royal family don't a little bit admire them even begrudgingly.
Yeah.
As like a symbol of a certain kind of class that everyone wants to aspire to. Even though like social mobility is even harder maybe in England than it is here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an aspirational thing. So like the monarchy works in a way because it's kind of a trick that they play on everyone's heads.
Right.
And they're not necessary, and everything like everything significant in terms of government policy goes through democratically elected officials. But the crown is like this. I don't know. They're like they exist to be a unifier that the whole country can adore and admire.
I guess too there's some common strands between that and how there are people, almost always white people in this country, who talk about the good old days of the 50s and conveniently ignore the fact that the 50s were awful.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, look. So the royals are an institution that doesn't change.
Yeah.
The royals are, in some sense, when they do change, it's incredibly subtle. They have longevity to them. It's like the Vatican or the Pope. Or,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a totem of stability.
Yeah.
Which we have nothing quite like that here.
No, yeah, Americans don't really have that sort of sense of identity that, other countries that are 1,000 years old have established by this point.
I get why people are fascinated by the royals, but also they're transparently shitty and always have been.
I think about like, okay, so like when Princess Diana died, there was like this big pomp and circumstance of her two kids, like going outside the palace and looking at, because they lined the fences with tributes. Yeah. And there was like this like planned press event where the two kids would go out and like, smile and nod at the press and present stoicism.
Yp.
Like no emotion, children.
Yeah.
And like 13, 14.
Like them, looking at all the tributes to their mom, who was a normal person.
Yeah.
Just a normal person, which is why she was fucking shunned from the royal family, because her shitty fucking garbage husband had people like brush his teeth for him and shit, and she didn't want to raise her kids that way.
You know, he was having an affair with his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, of course.
A couple of years after they got married. Like, it barely lasted before he was banging Camilla again.
Of course, yeah.
God.
But like, she didn't want to raise her kids in that shitty environment, and she did a really good job with those kids, which is why they don't want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like, I think about that, where they like made those two kids go out in front of a press pool
And act like adults.
and act like adults. Yeah, that's fucking awful. Like,
Yeah, well, the family was under attack, and to an extent, maybe has been ever since.
Yeah.
Like, a huge amount of trust in the British royal family evaporated when that happened.
Sure.
And lots of people still think that, Diana was killed deliberately.
Yeah.
And
I certainly don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, because I don't think she was like murdered like JFK conspiracy theory, but like, it took the French, medical team to like an hour to get there.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's certainly some suspicious stuff that happened.
right.
But I think that when they took those two kids and they put them out there and they made them be grown-ups, because what really mattered was solidarity for the royal family.
Stiff upper lip and all that.
Yeah, right. And not like what those kids desperately needed, which was to be alone to mourn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put them in front of fucking cameras and make them tough up.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, kid, your mom's dead, but nut up because the royal family needs you.
I think a lot of that is a very English sensibility, but like,
And a lot about doing what's asked of you.
Right,
And
exactly.
duty and honor.
Yeah. Incidentally, those sorts of values are weirdly enough why in the first early explorative days of Europe contacting Japan, the English and the Japanese have historically hit it off remarkably well.
yeah.
Makes sense.
All of that plus the tendencies of both people to be polite to a fault.
Yes.
Yeah, right. While secretly harboring all kinds of other truths.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The perfect polite front and stoic front.
Yeah.
Insulting people without insulting them.
Right. I mean, like, here's
Saving
the thing.
face.
And I don't give a shit about any of this at all, but like, is
Yeah.
it really a surprise to anyone that the royal family is racist?
Yeah, right.
Or has like some, I'm not even going to go out and say that they're like racist, but has some like old, like, archaic ideology.
Like, how
about,
woke do you think those people can
Right,
really
exactly.
be?
Well, I mean, think about the Keep England White movement. That's you know,
come on.
That still hasn't gone away, but it was even, you know, it was prominent even among famous British people well into the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Eric Clapton
among them. I was
Yeah.
just going to say Clapton among them. Who has successfully dodged that, who made his career off of like idolizing black people.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Slash stealing from them.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, all music.
Yeah,
is
the
that.
the British Elvis Presley.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's not a surprise to me. I also don't give a fuck. I couldn't care less.
Truthfully, I don't. The only reason I cared about this is because it was a big thing that was happening. So you gotta be a part of the big cultural
Yeah.
thing. And then it's like you can move on. Like I'm not gonna be thinking about this in a month even. But it's, you know, it's a phenomenon.
When I listen to this podcast back 10 years from now, I'm going to be like, what? I'm not going to.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Do you remember or have you seen rather the photos of Prince Philip being released from the hospital?
Yeah, he looks like a corpse.
Yeah,
He looks
like
bad.
like why at that point? Just
leave him there.
Let him die, for God's sake.
Leave the man there.
The man is physically falling apart.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking zombie.
It's a metaphor, though. It's a metaphor because the royal family will occasionally shudder him away to be like Frankensteined back together for another couple of months, but they won't take care of, you know, a princess who needs to be on like Prozac. Right. They won't help her out. They won't like give someone help for like mental issues.
Yeah.
That would be untoward. We don't really want to, you know, if you go away to a mental facility, for God's sakes, that will reflect poorly on the crown. But they'll like keep stapling pieces of Prince Philip on as long as his body is intact.
Yeah. Eventually there's not going to be an original part of him left.
Right.
It's just going to be like composite parts from like homeless tramps from like Wales or something.
Yeah, right. Just like 3 or 4 like Greek kids off a boat, and just put them in the back of a semi and take them into Buckingham Palace and harvest some organs out of them.
Yeah, there's not going to be an original part of Philip left.
There might not be now.
Will he still be
right?
Prince Philip?
The John dies at the end question. Will he still be?
In appearance only, I say. You little weird.
Dave, why are you fucked?
So I don't have anything super good.
Awesome. So we'll move on to the.
Well, now I'm on Zoloft too, and actually I kind of feel like that makes me fucked, even though it's supposed to be a good thing.
It is a good thing.
I'm really not excited about it.
I wasn't either. Just deal with it.
Really not very happy about
When you're
it.
to the point where you're scaring your friends and family,
Yeah.
you got to just bite the bullet and do it.
Yeah,
That's where I was.
And like, let's be real. Like, going on an antidepressant is not the most like exciting, like, oh fuck yeah, I'm so ready for this kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
You know?
It's not like you're not going to Cedar Point. You're
you're not buying a Lambo.
You're taking pills so you don't feel like hanging
putting
yourself.
a gun in your mouth.
You're not having sex with fucking Rashida Jones.
Prince Philip.
Prince Philip.
Oh man, if
Damn
only.
You don't want to break his pelvis.
Yeah.
The guy's got to be made out of like a sponge-like material at this point.
He's got to be on. He's got to be on top. At
The
this
real soft body.
Yeah.
At this point, you just kind of pour him over you.
I don't know how much you guys know about the lore of Warhammer.
Not how does this relate to banging Prince Philip?
Please,
exactly?
let's let this breathe.
Well, no, because the God Emperor of humankind in Warhammer 40K is essentially just a consciousness trapped it in a rotting corpse.
Ew.
And like they're keeping him alive not for like his ability to lead, but as like an emblem. And
Mr. House.
and he is
That's sweet.
in constant torment,
agony.
like seeing what his empire is becoming.
Yeah.
That might be the darkest thing I've ever heard in a piece of fiction.
Welcome to Warhammer. It's nothing but that. It's like literally, if you're born and you can't fight, you're just fucking dead.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so Sparta.
Yeah, but on like a galactic scale.
Yeah.
With orcs.
Cool.
Yeah, I never got into Warhammer. I know Mike DeMarco's really into it, and he even has like some like figurines and stuff. Like he's got like some of the like the physical stuff.
Oh yeah. I read a lot about it from people I know online, and but yeah, no, I thought of that because it's just Prince Philip. That's going to be
It's
him one
not
day.
that different.
No.
It's just they keep wheeling him in and out of that palace.
Please let me die.
But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna start Zoloft. I'm not excited about it. I'm actually really nervous. I'm really nervous.
Why?
The thing I'm most nervous about is the last time I was on SSRIs. I still don't know whether it was just me at the time and I was just a piece of shit then, or whether the pills enabled me to be more of a piece of shit. But I just remember very clearly doing a lot of like reckless, selfish stuff.
I would say you also drank a lot back.
I also drank a lot back then.
So it's,
Yeah, that will fuck with.
yeah, a lot. It's worth noting that it's okay
Right.
to have like a beer or two, but
Right. I just remember saying a lot of like, just like I did not care if I hurt someone's feelings.
yeah,
And I don't know when I act like that.
yeah, I gotcha.
And if that's the way that it just affects me, because these things affect everyone differently.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
would never tell someone not to get medicated. I just knew that my experience was not a positive one.
You just gotta crush them and snort them, like they're OxyContin.
Well,
Yeah, right.
Well, remember too, not all medicines of the same category are made the same way.
I know, but
You
the
know?
same mechanism is at play. It's the SSRI thing.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what to expect. But I told my doctor, like, listen, doc, because I wanted to be back on the Wellbutrin, and he's like, well, there's a chance it might raise your blood pressure, and we're already struggling with that. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, do what you want. I'm like, I basically I surrender. I fucking surrender.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's like a war to like be normal.
Yeah.
That isn't working.
Just
I surrender.
Yeah.
just
Surrender.
don't I know it's easier said than done, but don't hold any expectations in your head.
course, I'm trying not
like,
to.
roll with it.
I'm trying not to. But like I also can like very easily see a scenario in like a month where I'm like punching my wiener to get an erection. Like I'm like very afraid of that.
I gotta tell you. Well, I mean, it affects everybody differently, but hasn't been a problem for me.
Well, that's great. That's good news.
Wiener's still ticking away.
Who did I tell the other day in the Zoloft commercials?
Yeah.
They show that little egg.
Yeah.
And the little egg is sad.
Yeah.
And then they show the egg happy. But what they don't show is the egg choking himself with a belt trying to get a hard
jerk
on.
off. Yeah. Come on.
They'll show the egg hanging from his closet with a belt around his neck.
Yeah.
Orange in his mouth.
Yeah. It'll show the egg buying all sorts of weird porn subscriptions. Come on.
The egg's freaked out mailman when he realizes what stuff's coming in the mail. Oh, this is pretty intense. Something wrong with this guy.
Yeah.
They don't show that with the egg.
Nope.
They just show him happy eating an ice cream cone.
I will tell you, at the risk of divulging too much information again, it does bring your stamina up.
Yeah, right.
Significantly.
Right.
So,
that's good.
it is good. Be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Has it had any detriment on your cyclopean nards?
No.
Yeah, what has it done to your balls?
In fact, it may have made them bigger.
Them hefty peach bags of yours.
Just swinging them like a wrecking ball. I came in with two giant balls.
Those absolutely gravid man plums.
You just tug them like.
Anyway, I'm just saying I'm nervous about being on Zoloft.
Yep.
But I'm doing the thing. And in the worst case scenario, just stop taking the pill.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I always used to be scared because there's people who I had read stuff back in the day about people who are like, when you are on an SSRI, after you're off it, you're never the same again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true.
I don't think that's true. I think that's just people.
I think that's fear-mongering bullshit. And I think that kept me off medication for a really long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I took that really seriously. I still don't know what's true about that. My doctor doesn't seem to be that worried, and he's a doctor.
Yeah.
So listen to the doctor, right?
Right.
Well, again, as Chris pointed out, there was a lot more drinking back then.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's going to be different. It's going to be different this time.
Yeah.
I'm in a different place in my life. I'm not drinking like I was back then at all.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, like I told you before, I think you got to just stop, dude.
Yeah, more or less.
More
or less, I think at least for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I don't know if you can have that relationship with booze that.
I don't know.
How did Leo McGarry phrase it? That non-alcoholics do. What do sober people do?
I was trying to think of because I had just recently watched The Rock.
Yeah.
Same actor.
Yeah.
Plays director Womack in The Rock. I was trying to remember. I know him from somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. At least not now. I'm willing to at least see that right now I gotta be different.
Yeah.
So
It's not a bad idea.
Right.
Surprisingly somber here on the St. Patrick's Day
can we
episode.
just talk about sitting on your balls again?
No, let's move on past my balls. Seriously, I can show them to you. They're
you ever pinch them under the toilet seat or whatever?
No, not there yet. And they haven't touched the toilet water either.
Okay, that's good.
Well, that's everyone's why we're fucked, isn't it?
I think so.
Dunking your dick in the bowl?
Dunk your dick
In the bowl.
So anyway, I guess it's time to move on to smoking and drinking.
Actually, it's time to take a break.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then after that, we'll move on to smoking and drinking.
All right.
No, I have a Who Said It Best for you guys.
Awesome.
So
Yes.
it's time to get back to the thing. Since Dan so rudely interrupted my topic last week by coming on and doing one of the best episodes we've ever done.
Fucking asshole.
He just fucking smashed all over my topic. So we'll be back with Who Said It Best and
Then the main thing.
and then the other topic.
All right.
All right.
All right. Be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Three Dude Podcast. Hey. Yeah.
You can find us at 3dudecast.com.
If you're wondering whether that's spelled with the numeral 3 or the word 3, the answer is yes.
We're so proud of ourselves.
We're so clever. We're such clever boys.
Wow. We've switched hosting to Podbean. You can still find us on iTunes and Google Play. So give us a like.
Yeah, give us a like. Give us a listen. Give us a review somewhere.
Give us a sandwich.
Give us a high five.
Give us sponsorships.
Please give us a hug.
Give us that money.
All right. We're back.
Hey, everybody.
What up?
What up, pimps?
I didn't even show you what I got in the mail from Netflix, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
I noticed that outside.
It's nude photos of my dad.
Oh, cool.
Just a big stack of nude Polaroids of my father
It's
from
so weird.
30 years ago.
Well, when I searched Netflix for nude photos of my father, I never thought I'd actually find it.
Yeah, I just did it as a goof, but
Right.
now, lo and behold,
Here
I
it
paid
is.
$8 and I got a stack of Polaroids from the 1980s. It's just my dad.
Wow, Netflix has been in the content business a lot longer than I thought. How about that?
Not bad. I can't wait to rip these to my Plex server. You just photocopy them.
New from Netflix, deep fake your dad. Photoshop your dad onto the nude scenes in your favorite movies, and you can get them by mail.
Man, I can't remember the last time I got something in the mail from Netflix.
I know. It's weird that they still have this service.
Hey, it's working for you though, right?
Yeah.
I'm building out a little collection of piracy.
Maybe not the thing you want to admit to on the air.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Hey, you guys know what time it is, right?
Yeah, I think I do.
Oh, God.
I forgot.
It's time for Who Said It Best.
Oh my God, that's so dumb. I forgot. I just listened to the last one of the episodes,
Yeah.
and I forgot that that's a thing you do.
Oh, that I know. I mean, like I wrote that song, and
Right.
you know, it's a theme song for our show.
It's great.
Anyway, Who Said It Best is a game, a fun little game. I'm sorry, I'm piggybacking off of a Goose Chase, which is a better podcast.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad.
Who Said It Best is a game in which the house has the advantage. I have to note this.
Right.
I give you a quote, and you have to decide who said it best. I have 5 options here for you to choose from: A, B, C, D, or E. 4 is good, 5 is better.
Right.
But you have to determine if I'm trying to fuckery you, or
Are we being cocksuckered?
are we being? I've been snookered. I've been cocksuckered.
Hornswoggled.
You have to decide if I'm trying to fool you, and you know which match the name of the quote. Could be a real person, could be a character,
Yeah.
could be an actor, could be a woman.
Could be Captain Phasma.
It's me, Captain Phasma, and I'm a real bitch.
I'm Captain Phasma. I don't take no nonsense.
I'm a fucking cunt.
I'm a real shitty boss. Oh boy.
So again, I have 2 for you this week. Before we get into this, I would like to remind you all of the tally. So far, I have 6 wins.
Right.
Dave has 2. Ben has 0. Still not on the board yet.
What is it? 6-2? Really?
Yeah.
Why did I? Oh God, you're way ahead.
I am way ahead. Again, the house has the advantage.
Right.
I'm going to, I said, like, I will present you all with gifts. Whoever passes me first,
Yeah.
I will give a gift to, and then we will start the slate clean.
This may never happen.
This may never happen. At some point, we're going to restart it. I will buy myself a gift.
Right.
We'll say the first to 20. We'll say
Okay.
the first to 20.
I want a nice Slurpee if I win.
You want a Slurpee?
I want a nice Slurpee.
Okay.
An interesting flavor.
Okay, we got
Green
you.
apple, maybe.
Okay, we can make that happen.
Okay.
We can do that. So, are you boys ready for Who Said It Best?
You're goddamn right.
Goddamn right.
I think so.
The first quote is, barbecue may not be the road to world peace, but it is a start. Was that A, Anthony Bourdain, B, Jack Black, C, Fat Albert, D, Guy Fieri,
Fieri.
or E, Killer Mike?
Oh, fuck. I have a really strong feeling it's either A or E. It's either Bourdain or it's Killer Mike. I have a really strong feeling about one of the two.
I'm definitely going with Killer Mike.
Okay.
It feels like Killer Mike, too.
Right?
Are you going to lock that in as a final answer?
But I feel like Anthony Bourdain is equally likely. If you're going Killer Mike, I'll go Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
I'll split the split. Or split the
Split the
I'll
split.
spark the split.
Again, you guys, you know,
Spark the spliff, man.
you guys can both pick the same thing too.
We can.
You guys got
I'm saying Killer Mike for
Okay.
sure.
But to increase the likelihood of beating you at the risk of being wrong, even though I actually think it is Killer Mike, I'm going to guess Bourdain.
Okay.
Split the split. Why can't I
split
split the spread? I can't say that. Spurt the splurt.
You want to try that again?
I want to split the spread.
I want to spank the slut.
Now say it faster.
Split the spread, split the spread, split the spread.
You want to split the spread.
I want to split this bread, man. This
Dave.
crust top bun.
When you said that it was A, Anthony Bourdain, who said, barbecue may not be the road to world peace, but it's a start.
I'm wrong.
You were correct.
Son of a bitch! All right, risk paid off.
Which means, of course, Ben, you were incorrect when you guessed Killer Mike. Solid guess, though.
Yeah, I really, honestly, I thought that was it.
Yeah, I have a quote, or I have a little doodad here about him. Anthony Bourdain, a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America and executive chef of the famous Brasserie La Halle in Manhattan, Bourdain prided himself on his ability to set an incredible pace in the kitchen. Every dish at La Halle was prepared à la minute, which means to the minute, fresh. He and his team would often work so fast that they would back up the waiters. GQ once equated his spirit to that of Hunter S. Thompson and dubbed him the original rock star of the culinary world. And I have a quote here. He taught us about food, but more importantly, about its ability to bring us together, to make us a little less afraid of the unknown. And that's attributed to former President Obama.
Yeah, the world is worse off without Anthony Bourdain.
Couldn't agree more.
And his 5 million travel shows.
Yes. So let me erase this quote real quick.
Such as parts unknown and parts private.
Parts unknown, parts private,
Parts
and private parts.
Okay, so shall we move on to the next quote?
Sure.
So this is a quote from famous chain smokers. So I will, this is a quote from famous chain smokers. So I'm going to, kind of set the stage for you guys.
This will be hard.
The quote is, I don't go to the gym. I can't smoke in there.
No,
Is that it?
That's not enough of a quote.
That's the quote.
You bastard.
I don't go to the gym. I can't smoke in there.
Okay.
Is it A, former Beatles lead guitar player George Harrison? Is it B, former racist actor and dude with some, I wrote famous actor and dude with some mild white supremacist tendencies, John Wayne?
Okay.
Is it C, comedian Bill Hicks? Is it D, golfer John Daly? Or is it E, Dean Martin?
You son of a bitch.
This one's going to be exponentially
He gave us a quote with 7 words in it.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't go to the gym. I can't smoke in there.
little
That is
more.
the quote.
9. That's 9 words.
Yeah.
This sounds. Who are the first 3 again?
George Harrison, John Wayne, Bill Hicks. That was the first 3.
And then the last 2?
John Daly and Dean Martin.
Okay. I feel like I want to rule out George Harrison.
Yeah.
I also want to rule out Bill Hicks because I think you put him on the list because we would think it was Bill Hicks. I think it just sounds like something you thought of.
Technically speaking, I put 4 of these on the list because I thought it would be something.
Right, but that's one of them I feel like you did.
I want to rule out John Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah, and I kind of want to lean toward John Daly for some reason.
I'm gonna say Bill Hicks.
Okay.
Who's our 5th one again?
Dean Martin.
Dean Martin.
I don't go to the gym. I can't smoke in there.
This is tough.
Bill Hicks. I don't go to the gym. I can't smoke in there.
Yeah, right.
I don't go to the gym, partner.
I can't
smoke in there.
They don't allow smoking in there, partner.
I don't know how to do a John Daly impression. I can't go to the gym. I can't smoke in there. I can't go to the gym. I can't smoke in there.
I don't go to the gym. They don't allow smoking in the gym. Yeah, I'm gonna go with John Daly. That's my guess. I don't even feel that good about it. It should be. No, just go with John Daly.
You sure? You wanna lie?
That was my other choice. Honestly, was John Daly.
You're gonna go. So, are you guys locking in your final answers?
Yeah, what? John Daly and Bill Hicks?
Yeah, Bill Hicks.
Final answer.
John
Yeah, let's just do it.
So, Ben, when you said I don't go to the gym, I can't smoke in there.
He didn't say that.
Well,
You did.
I said that.
John Daly.
When you said it was Bill Hicks, you were incorrect. Dave,
I'm wrong,
When
too.
you said it was John Daly, you were correct.
Shut the fuck
2 for 2. You guys got to stop trying to get two double guesses.
Yeah. You got to sport the splurt.
So, little blurb about John Daly, nicknamed Long John for his incredibly powerful swing.
Long John.
Oh, Long Johnson. Daly has had, and still has absolutely an incredibly insane diet for a professional. To start, he smoked 2 to 3 packs of cigarettes a day for over 35 years. He also drinks roughly 15 Diet Cokes a day and does not drink water.
Does not.
He's a recovering alcoholic and gambling addict, and in the place of his addictions, he eats lots of sugar, often consuming several bags of peanut M&Ms a day.
You know, anytime I feel guilty about the way I live my life,
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to think of
John
that.
Daly. Yep.
So is that both of them?
That's both of them. You got them both.
That means it's 4 to
6. You fucking rat bastard piece of shit. Catching me.
Hey, if we both continue to take at least one away from him every game.
Yeah, but that's how Ben has not been on the board.
I mean, I'm not on the board because I'm making honest guesses that are wrong.
Yes, but most of the ones you've said, like, yeah, that's in the interest of trying to split the spread.
No. That's
I'm the one doing
Dave's
that.
the one doing that.
I'm sporting the splurt.
It's John Daly was my second guess, but my first was Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
I don't go to the gym. Can't smoke. It sounds like something Bill Hicks.
It does. It sounds a lot like him, but that's the thing is I figured you, being a rat bastard, put him on the list.
to do that, and I did.
But I also kind of felt like John Daly was one you thought of in particular. So that any one of those could have been just someone that you know and like think about and put on the list.
Got to take you to Vegas, Dave. That was good. Truly inspired performance.
Not too bad.
I got to get tougher with these.
No, those were pretty tough.
All right.
Just lucky.
So we're moving on to the topic of the week, the weekly topic, the point of the show, the things we talk about, what we do.
The poison meant for Cusco.
Cusco's poison.
The poison specifically meant to kill Cusco. Cusco's poison.
The topic this week is Mindblowers Part 2.
Yeah.
Mindblowers Part 2 spawned on a stupid conversation. The original topic was going to be relationships, which we're going to visit at some point when we're not all falling apart mentally. It's not a good time to do that topic.
And wait till we're not basically on the precipice of an emotional collapse.
So you guys knew in advance this time what the topic was going to be, because that's the smart way to do it, and give you guys some time to come up with some actual mind blowers. But I had a lot of fun with this topic last time, so I figured we might as well part to it.
Can I briefly cover some of the things we talked about last time?
Yes, go ahead, because I didn't listen to it.
I actually took some notes.
Did you?
Because I thought it would be useful for me to avoid, and we're still probably going to accidentally overlap a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because all the science stuff in particular ends up being interdisciplinary and whatever.
Science.
Okay, here's a short and condensed list of the things we talked about last time. The Googleplex, infinite space and alternate universes, people getting taller.
Wow, that's real mind-blowing shit.
Zombie bugs. Jupiter rains diamonds on the inside. Ice 7. Venus used to be habitable and lush. The Dyson sphere. Cleopatra living closer to us than the construction of the pyramids.
Yeah, that
Oxford being around longer than the Aztec Empire.
Oh, I did do that. Or one of us did that last time.
I think you did the Oxford one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was like, no, wait, that sounds like something I would have done.
The all how computers work and instructions on instructions. Absolute zero and the coldest temperatures recorded on Earth. Quantum entanglement and the spin of atoms. The infinite number of fractions between 0 and 1. The fact that objects don't actually touch because there's infinite sort of like small space between things. Synthetic meat we talked about. The fact that we're the first species we know about of our sentience on this planet. That little octopus that the nature documentarian filmed that started to imitate and do little fun things. Because octopuses have...
I am the octopus.
Yeah. Everything that we see in the stars is old. The fact that they can project images onto the visual cortex of the brain with technology. And the fact that the blind sort of still see motion even if they don't process imagery.
Yeah. Well, certain types of blindness. It's not. It's not common.
Right. I'm almost certain that a bunch of the stuff I said last time turned out to be wrong.
Really?
Well, like the Ice 7 thing, I got kind of wrong. Because I think what it is with Ice 7 is it like when you pressurize water enough, it can be in a solid, liquid, and gas state all at the same time. So like it constantly is going back and forth between evaporating, freezing, and liquefying.
Huh.
But we can do that on Earth. We can create those pressures, and I said we couldn't.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I got a bunch of my stuff wrong, but those are loosely all the things we talked about last time.
All right.
People getting taller.
People getting taller.
What a mind blower.
Woo!
You know you're taller than your daddy.
Taller than your daddy,
Your daddy's taller than his daddy.
and your daddy taller than his daddy. And I'll be damned if he wasn't taller than his daddy.
Well, I'll be damned.
Actually, when I was looking for facts for today, I came across two things that are actually sort of a bit like that. Which is that over the past century or so, one of the things is that over the past century or so, the average body temperature for a healthy human being has gone down.
Yes.
From 98.6 degrees to about 97.5.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Over how long?
Over the past century or so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Take your temperature. It's low. It's.
I mean, I know mine is less than 98.6. I just measured it the other day.
Yeah, mine typically is too, but for a healthy person, it's supposed to be around 97.5
that's
these
about.
days.
That's where mine is. Yeah, typically.
I mean, do we have a good reason for that other than the fact that we have access to like heating and cooling and we're just maybe changing a little bit that way?
I think my guess, and this is just me talking out of my ass because I'm not a doctor, but my guess would be because we're generally more sedentary these days.
Yeah, maybe.
that might make sense.
People have more desk jobs. People watch television.
Yeah.
So I think our cores just don't get as warm.
We don't need to metabolize as much to function.
Yeah.
It also explains why we're all getting fat.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But again, this is for like anyone, not just
Fat people.
Not just
Yeah.
fat Americans with access to a lot of food and chairs.
not just people who are sedentary
Yeah.
by their nature.
Right.
I think really it's just in general.
Goes for filthy, dirty, normal-sized Greeks too.
Filthy,
Sweaty,
just slick, with
Oily.
sea salt, and
and oil, olive oil.
just tabbouleh soaked.
Covered in yogurt. My knowledge of the Greek culture is very limited.
It's so obvious how little we both know about Greece.
Just, except that they're greasy. They don't call it Greece for nothing.
That's racist.
No. Greeks aren't races. They're, I don't know what I'm talking about. Ignore me.
The other thing that I learned is that compared to early man, compared to Cro-Magnon man, I suppose, our teeth on average are more crooked. It's a recent phenomenon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now that's not to say that our teeth are obviously whiter and healthier. But
They're misshapen in a way, misaligned.
yeah, they're misaligned.
I wonder why that is.
Again, I can only speculate, but I would guess that it's because one of the things that historically has changed the most about higher primates over the past several million years is head shape.
Yeah.
And this could be just maybe some kind of side effect of that.
I think I read something once that said something about the development of our language has had an influence on the shape of our mouth and of the positioning of our teeth.
That would make sense to me.
Our mouth.
Or mooth.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true. That's like a half mind blower. I'm just going to drop in there and not defend at all.
No, but
That's what this podcast is all about.
that does make sense to me.
It's a mind teaser.
Yeah.
An aperitif for the brain.
Speaking of languages, to jump right into a totally different thing.
Okay.
I ended up trawling through some posts on Today I Learned.
Trawling in my skin.
The subreddit Today I Learned.
Reddit's great for all these kind of topics.
Yeah, I just scrolled through like the best of the past month. And this one caught my eye. Today I learned, this is from user Coffee Inconvenience. Or no, wait. Coffee in Venice, excuse me.
That makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah, Coffee in Venice, who posted, today I learned Nicaraguan Sign Language is a sign language that spontaneously developed among deaf children in Nicaragua in the 80s. It is of particular interest to linguists because it is believed to be a modern example of the birth of a new language unrelated to anything else.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, so deaf children devised this? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's wild.
By themselves.
By themselves. And I could only imagine that as they grew older, would become more of a, more refined and certain things start to become more common.
I guess we shouldn't be that surprised by this in the sense that, like, the entire language of, like, memes, like, the fact that Dat Boy exists is proof that young people make their own language already, right?
Yeah.
But that's pretty complicated.
Shit, what up?
Oh, shit, Dat Boy.
As of 1997, which they should probably reinvestigate this, there were 3,000 Nicaraguans who could communicate in this language.
Huh. Wow.
Developed as a Creole language from a home and idioglossic sign with the addition of an ASL-influenced manual alphabet.
Huh. Wow. That's
Very cool.
Wow. This is me, kind of. It's called an avatar, and it's from a game that some people are calling very cool.
And this especially is really interesting. It says some linguists such as Judy Cagle and R.J. Sengus.
Those sound like fake names. I'm sorry. They do. Judy Cagle
And R.J. Sengus.
Well, it's spelled Senghas. So
PJ McGillicuddy.
I might be mispronouncing it.
Cagle.
Yeah.
Which is spelled Kegl.
Okay.
Inventor of flexing your ass.
So anyway, these two linguists, Jesus Christ.
Sorry. We're just like shortchanging their accomplishments.
Like a highly accomplished person, I'm sure.
Strong vaginas.
Fucking idiots. Sorry.
Some linguists who will not be mentioned by name see what happened in Managua as proof that language acquisition is hardwired in the human brain.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That makes sense, yeah. Like, without access to a language that, like, they invented something in the absence of something else.
Yeah.
It's just something humans do.
Steven Pinker, author of the... What I knew you were gonna laugh at that, and I have no idea why.
It's not even that funny. It's just
Steven chewing the Pinker wanted the stinker.
Steven Pinker and his brother Joshua Stinker. It was a different name for some reason.
Author of The Language Instinct, maintains we've been able to see how it is that children, not adults, generate language, and we've been able to record it happening in great scientific detail, and it's the only time that we've actually seen a language being created out of thin air.
That's amazing.
That isn't
That is amazing.
Other than like a constructed language like Elvish,
Klingon,
Klingon,
right.
Dothraki,
Italian,
Jewish, Yiddish.
Did you say Jewish?
yeah, the Jewish language,
Jewish language.
Oh God.
Currency.
Leet speak.
You got any more names in that list? Because I'm dying to know what the fourth one is.
There are, but I'm not gonna tell you.
Come on. No fun.
I don't know if they're funny or not. They're probably not funny. Those are all too funny. There's not gonna be a fourth funny name, right?
Nah, probably not.
There couldn't be, could there? If only someone would tell us what. So we could make fun of these people who are way smarter than we are.
Cagle and Pinker, attorneys at law.
Man, they go into a lot of detail about the the structure of the language and
Yeah.
God.
Today I learned is like a gold mine.
Oh, yeah.
Of really interesting information.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this was probably the best one that I found, honestly. Because like with American Sign Language, that was assisted in its development,
right?
You know, by advocates for the deaf, and just done jointly between deaf people but it even includes stuff like visual puns that work in the spoken language as well as in the sign language.
That's kind of cool.
This, like you're milking an udder is the sign for milk, but doing it like this is pasteurized milk because you're going past your eyes.
Shut up! No way.
That's really cool.
Yeah, pasteurized milk.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then
This is the drum solo too. I can feel it calling to the air.
I was gonna say this is Phil Collins.
yeah, and obviously I don't speak ASL, so that sound is probably. Luckily, this is radio, so we don't have to worry about how badly my sign language is.
Yeah, right.
But
Hello.
That's you, bud.
Is someone calling? Oh, that's my phone.
Yeah, that's all.
That's Is it also my computer? God damn it! I think it's Gmail.
Who's calling you?
I don't know.
Gmail? No, that's
Answer it.
Oh, there we go.
Put him live on the air.
I don't know who it is. I'm not picking it up.
Pick it up.
These people got to start leaving me messages.
Pick it up.
No.
no. Anyway,
Sorry.
shit, I lost my train of thought.
Damn it, Dave.
Ruining the show.
God damn it. Just because we're bereaved doesn't mean we're saps.
It was something to do with.
Does it have to do with the pasteurized thing or this?
Oh yeah, so ASL. Also, I forget where I learned this.
Age, sex, location.
I think it was just out of idle curiosity, probably while I was at a bar or something. Mm-hmm. But I decided to Google if ASL has accents, and it does.
I think I've heard that.
There's like subtle little differences and they're regional too.
Right.
I wouldn't imagine that they're regional to the same regions that spoken English is.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I mean, like the way that we have regional accents in spoken English, it shouldn't be the same regions.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I don't think there's an accent in ASL that corresponds directly to an accent in spoken English. I wouldn't think.
But I think those accents probably formed for like very real geographic reasons.
Yeah, and ASL accents probably formed for similar reasons.
Right.
Yeah. So there might be some overlap there. Just because of that third variable.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I have an app on my phone that's supposed to teach you ASL, and I keep wanting to try and learn.
I always wanted to learn too.
Right.
But I'm learning 3 languages right now as it is.
Just call up Helen Kegel and she'll. Helen Kegel.
She'll flex in your general direction.
She's just citing water. Just
You know what? I saw a tweet recently that said. Actually, I might have sent it to you guys over Discord that said the fact that Helen Keller was racist is the funniest thing in history.
Yeah, that is pretty. Honestly, that is pretty fucking funny.
yeah.
You mentioned sign language, so there's a mind blower that I learned about sign language, which I thought you might find interesting. I didn't know this, but apparently, people who are born deaf and so learn sign language, but also have schizophrenia. Like, obviously schizophrenia manifests in people with hearing sometimes as hearing voices. If you're born deaf and you speak ASL, it will manifest as disembodied hands signing in your eyes.
That's fucking
Really?
weird.
Yes.
Holy shit.
So, which makes perfect sense on some level, but is also like a really wild symbol of the plasticity of the brain.
Whoa.
That it finds a way to fuck with you.
That's nuts.
Yep. So they'll see, just hand signing disconnected to a body.
Whoa.
So the intrusive thoughts find a way.
That is fucking crazy.
I hope that's true because I read that.
Well, it's on this podcast now, so
Right.
it is true.
It's true now.
If they say it on television,
But it makes perfect sense.
True.
Because the brain manifests like, whatever it has to, kind of on that level, right? Like the root cause of schizophrenia is going to find a way to express itself in ways that the brain is familiar with.
Sure. That's
So
just
if you don't know what a
disembodied pair of hands
Right.
Yeah.
telling you to kill your parents.
It's a hand from Glover.
Yeah.
He shows up with a Wario mustache.
Yeah, it's the hand from Glover and the hamburger helper guy.
Both with curly mustaches. And most of what they have to say is about Arabs.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
They just
Glover
really-
and Hamburger Helper are very anti-Arab.
Sure.
It's just part of their canon. Nobody knows why.
I got a weird one for you. Let's take a left turn here.
Okay.
The digits in the speed of light are exactly the same as the latitude of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Shut up.
This is a famous one.
The speed of light in what unit of measurement?
Meters per second.
Okay.
Shut up.
It's sorry, I'm an idiot. 299,792,458 meters per second, and 29.9792458 degrees. I don't know the name of the law, but it's basically, it boils down to the fact that there are because the universe is so crazy and there's so many things happening. It's the
Every frame is so dense.
yeah, it's so dense. It's the monkeys in a room writing Shakespeare thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to find things that match and don't really have any significance, but it's
Exactly.
cool.
It's a probabilistic
Correct.
likelihood that you'll find crazy,
Correct.
coincidence.
So that's a famous one that up to that insane intensity of degrees.
Right.
That those two match up.
Which, of course, could never
Yeah.
have been done on purpose, as that system of measurement did not exist.
Right.
When that happened.
I was once in the same room. I was actually getting a haircut. I was in the same room with two other people who, like me, have a younger sibling born on the same day but not in the same year.
That seems really unlikely.
Yeah, it was strange.
but
But it's just the weird randomness that the universe likes to do sometimes,
there's tons of those.
or all the time.
I'm sure you guys have heard that crazy one where in any random gathering of 24 people,
23 people,
at least two people will share a birthday on average with the likelihood of like 50% or something.
Yeah,
like that.
there's a 50% chance that any two of those people in the room will share the same birthday.
I think it's like 60 or something, or maybe 70. Some of them. The odds are 99 and 9/10%.
Yeah, if you break it down mathematically, that makes sense, but
Right.
only when it's deconstructed for you.
Yeah.
I got one weird one with numbers. Have you guys ever heard of Zipf's law?
Zipf's law.
George Zipf. Z-I-P-F.
Give him one for the zipper.
Zipf's law. It started by researching language, in terms of what he did basically is take any classical work, something like Moby Dick, right? And this really works, by the numbers of words that are popular in the English language. He was really interested with this. Zipf's law says that in any text, the most used word in the English language is the word the.
Okay.
The next most used word in any given text will be half of that. So it'll be 1/2. And then the next most used word after that will be 1/3 of the most used word.
Oh, really?
And then the next most used word will be 1/4 of that, on and on and on downward.
Really?
So Zipf's law is the first word, the thing is one
the relationship is constant.
of its rank.
Yeah.
So it forms, in other words, like a perfectly logarithmic slope.
Yeah, to an insanely detailed degree. And obviously it works with like any classical text put together. So if the next most used word is or, it would be half of the. If the next most used word is that, it would be 1/3 of the usage of the, onward and downward. And what makes it even fucking crazier is that correlation doesn't just exist in texts. It exists in things that are completely
Like all hierarchies.
hierarchies. The number of solar flares that occur based on timelines, straight down. There's like an insane number of correlations that Zipf's law applies to.
So
We're living in a simulation.
the best way to
calling it.
the best way to verify this for sure is we have to go through and apply this principle by word count to the longest text written in human history. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
Oh, is that it's the Smash Brothers fantasy?
It is a
fiction.
Super Smash Brothers fan fiction that holds the world record for the longest text ever produced by a single author in the entirety of human history.
Keyword is single author there.
Yeah.
Because lots and lots of very long texts are like collections
Sure.
of, like, even the Bible is not a single, author. So.
Yeah, but it's longer than the Bible.
Right.
Let me actually look. Longest text.
That's unnerving.
It's worth noting too that like that doesn't just apply to English. That applies to
Other languages, too.
Every language, including languages that we haven't translated yet. Right? It's like just the marked symbols.
That fucks me up.
That's mind blowing.
There's no reason that should be.
And we don't know why.
There's no reason that should be.
Right.
Unless we're living in a simulation with limited resources. I'm calling it.
I'm trying to find other examples.
That's fucking creepy.
So
I wish you'd never told me
Okay.
that.
okay, I found it.
Largest cities in countries.
Okay.
Population.
No.
Zipf's law.
No.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
I don't like this.
Okay, so I found it. It is called the Subspace Emissaries World's Conquest. It is over 3.5 million words long as of 2013.
Wow.
Making it almost 3 times as long as Marcel Proust's 7-volume À la Recherche du Temps Perdu.
It's longer than Proust.
Six times as long as Infinite Jest, and 13 times as long as James Joyce's Ulysses.
Okay,
Holy
I've held a
shit.
copy of Infinite Jest. I can't imagine 6 of them dedicated to Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does... Can we just be done as people? Like, what else is
Let me
there?
give you some other examples here.
This is freaking me out.
Mathematical expressions, ranks of notes in music. This is from Wikipedia, by the way.
I'm sorry. Ranks of notes in music?
Ranks of notes in music.
Like, take a piece of music, calculate all the use of all the notes in it.
And even in uncontrolled environments such as population ranks in cities in various countries, corporation sizes, income rankings of number of people watching the same TV channel, and so on.
Population size and corporate employees seems to be to some extent controlled.
Sure.
Sure, some of these things have influences, and some of them are seemingly super random.
Right. But
Yeah.
the fact that this equation
one-
matches up on all sorts of different things is just... This one's my favorite. Ranks of number of people watching the same television channel.
What about given baby names in English?
I don't know for sure, but I'm sure that's probably one of them. Actually, Vsauce does a great. There's a couple of great channels to watch if you want to see examples of Zipf's law.
Yeah.
Vsauce did a great one a few years ago, where he like breaks down like dozens of correlations between these.
Ethnicities in American produced pornography in the 1970s.
But
I bet that
like
works.
there's a huge number of correlations and we don't know why.
Okay, it's got to be... The only way this really makes sense to me is there has to be enough wiggle room, because they're not going to be perfectly one half, one third.
They are scarily accurate. like if you take the words,
Yeah.
like they're not 100% accurate, obviously, because
Right, but they trend really close.
But they trend like within like if in a given text, right?
Yeah.
They trend within like a couple hundred, in some cases, a couple dozen words.
Oh my God.
They're like shockingly accurate.
that doesn't make sense.
Exactly, it doesn't, and we don't know why it exists, but it does. It's one of those weird laws of the universe.
Yeah, that freaks me out. For sure. That freaks me out.
So, like, the thing is, this podcast that we're doing right now,
You could probably track the word
you could
usage.
track the word usage of this podcast that we're doing right now and you would see the correlation there.
You know what horrifies me is I want to put this through a text or speech to
Don't
text.
you? Right?
And analyze the word usage.
Yeah. It's wild, dude.
I'm like freaked out.
That's like, I'm not just making this shit up. You can look up Zipf's law and see all the wild correlations that exist.
That should not be the case.
Yeah.
Well,
You got one there? You got one for us, Ben?
that's day ruining.
Yes. Let me find.
Can I briefly talk about how weird it is that wombats poop square?
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
They make square turds. I saw a picture today.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I was looking this up. They make like a little, they're not perfectly square, like sharp square.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're like,
They're square shits.
they look like a square bun, like a little dinner roll.
Oh, yeah.
With like kind of tight corners.
Nice.
And apparently there's a reason for it because their insides, like some of their digestive tract is like very firm and some of it's very soft. So when it moves through, it'll like hit a wall and just flatten.
Yeah, okay.
And then it'll keep going and it'll flatten on this side.
Cool.
And apparently, if they're less healthy, their poop is less square.
Really?
So you can track like basically how well your wombats are doing in the zoo by how square their poop is. And
Oh, my God, there's more?
there's more. They theorize that they developed this to mark territory in the places that they inhabit, which are high up places.
Yeah.
You want your poop not to roll off so you can mark your territory like in a branch.
Holy shit.
So they devised theoretically a square poop so that it stays put.
Oh, my God. Wow.
That's what they think.
The depth and tenacity of wombat shit.
I always thought that was a weird fact, but then when I read that there might be a reason, I'm like,
That's okay.
science is insane
All right.
sometimes.
I see you,
I
wombats.
see what you're doing.
I see you, wombats.
I can make a square poop
I
too.
see you, wombats.
Nature usually
Shit,
has
no
a reason
squares.
for the shit that it does.
Literally.
Yeah, it's just a random one I had on the list because I always thought the square poop was pretty fascinating. It's like a little briquette.
Yeah, a little charcoal briquette.
It looks like that.
a little shit briquette.
Looks like a little
charcoal
cornbread
shit
bun.
cat. Yeah.
You know the little cornbreads?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that.
The little squares.
Yeah.
Except don't eat that.
Don't eat this.
It's wombat shit.
Don't eat this. It's shit.
Okay, so here's another one. When do you guys suppose the last U.S. Civil War widow passed away?
Civil War widow.
Yeah, when do you suppose the last one passed away?
Holy God. Okay, someone remind me of that's like 1860. When was the Civil War?
It was like the
1860s.
late 1860s.
The widow, I'm gonna say 1930.
I'm gonna say like 1950.
Whoa.
Like an old lady.
That's a very old lady.
Well, you know that would be like 90 years old.
Yeah.
Lived to 110. Lost her husband at 20.
Okay.
Would you believe me if I told you last year?
What?
No.
Absolutely
And
not.
here's why. Here's why. It was a thing in the early 20th century to marry these old veterans for their pension money.
Oh.
Shut up.
The last woman married to a Civil War vet passed away last year, 2020.
When did she marry that old bag of bones?
Probably at very uncomfortably disparate ages.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so last year. So we're talking, even if you, wow. Okay, so even if she didn't live that long, and let's say she made it to like 80.
Still means she was born in 1940.
Yeah.
The guy she was marrying would have been at least 80.
Holy shit.
So the timeline's kind of work out.
No, because that would mean he would have been born in like 1860. It would have been too young to fight the Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really know that there was a conscription age necessarily then, right?
Sure.
Like you'd grab your pitchfork whether you were 10 or 30.
Okay, so let's say 1865.
Right.
Guy is, let's say, 15 years old.
Sure.
Born in 50, make it easy.
Yeah, born in 1850, fights in the Civil War at 15.
Yeah.
Let's say by 1920,
He's 70 years old.
70 years old. Marries. No.
A 15-year-old girl.
Well, I mean, that's not.
Maybe, but that would still make her 115 at the time of death.
Right, like this is
But that's possible, you know.
it's all possible. It's just really like they stretched the absolute limits of how gold diggerly you can be.
Or how gold diggerly her parents could be.
She was okay. So I looked her up.
We're assuming she had a say in this marriage.
Her name was
More accurate,
Her name
probably.
was Helen Jackson.
Okay.
She was, by most every account, the last surviving widow of the Civil War. She was just 19 in 1936 when she married 91-year-old Civil War veteran
Gross.
James Boleyn.
Gross.
So wait, their ages were palindromes of each other.
Yes.
She was 19, he was 91. Could I make it any more obvious?
That's a real like spring dead romance.
After volunteering as his caretaker in his final years, they got married. Wow.
Unbelievable. Where was she from?
Let's find out.
So wait, she was 19 in 1936.
1936.
I
So
want to know if it was a dusty old
So wait,
Confederate or
19
a dusty old Union.
that means she was born in 1917, which would make her 103 at the time of death.
Yeah.
So that works.
Somehow.
The gentleman in question was born in 1845.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But also, doesn't that kind of tell you something about how not that long ago the Civil War was?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of think about things in terms of generations, you know?
Wow.
Every 20 years on average,
How
people are
wild
spitting out
is
new
that?
kids. It's really strange to think about the fact that two people could bridge that whole distance.
Do you think they fucked?
Yeah.
Nah.
I think there was a soft handy under the blanket for sure.
Well, I mean, you're 91 years old. Give him. I would jerk off a 91-year-old.
Yeah, if you asked me nice.
If you ask me nice, yeah.
And he was kind of sweet.
Guy's 91. Cut him a break.
Right. It's just
All right, let's take a hard left out of Handy Town. I got one. Let's go back to
hard
space
left
here.
out of Confederate soldier handy town.
Let's space. Here's one that's gonna, and this is something that Neil deGrasse Tyson has said before is one of the scariest things, one of the things that keeps him up at night. Because of the faster than light expansion of the universe, which I talked about, I think, briefly in the last episode.
Yeah.
Because the universe expanding is not moving the way that light would move.
Yeah.
It's expanding and we don't have terms to define it. It's just constantly getting faster, and that expansion happens to be enlarging faster than how we would measure the speed of light.
The embiggening of space.
Correct. Because of the faster than light expansion of the universe, 94% of what we can see in the night sky is already past the observable
Whatever you
the event horizon, the observable horizon of the universe.
We might have talked about this last time, but I don't know how specifically we talked about it.
We talked about something similar, but like this is saying basically 94% of what we can visualize is already gone past the edge of the universe where we won't be able to see it.
Yeah,
We're just now getting the light from it.
Yeah, like we will not be able to ever see it, right?
Correct. Like once it's past that barrier, but what this basically means is that most of what we see in the night sky, if we did somehow develop some kind of light speed travel, we wouldn't be able to reach any of that stuff. It's like there's only 6% of the universe that we can observe if we reached light speed travel that we could actually go see.
That sucks.
And because the universe is expanding and things are getting farther away from each other, if human beings do actually continue to exist in this solar system, eventually there will be a point where they'll look into the night sky and they won't see anything. They'll see the sun, they'll see the moon, they'll see the planets. The end.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
In the year 75.
I don't want to be alive for the time when all the stars slowly start going out.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, that would blow.
The good news is, eventually the universe is going to explode. Like it's going to happen.
Well,
Just rip apart.
it's gonna crunch. Everything's gonna start coming back.
Well,
inwards.
that's a theory.
Yeah.
But the prevailing theory is that the universe will die
Heat death.
heat death.
well, there's heat death, and then there's the one that I think is most prevalent now is it's called the big freeze, which basically means that if the bubble that we're in, if there is such a thing, expands out far enough, eventually it'll reach a point where everything is so far apart that no energy will be able to react off of each other and everything will just burn out. The only thing that will exist will be dark matter. It will engulf the universe and there will be no energy.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the entire universe is like a Hardee's that you could see on a road trip.
Yeah.
Down a long, dusty road, and you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, Hardee's. And then you get there, and it's closed.
It's closed. And then you get
And
there.
you're never going to get the monster thick burger that you were so excited about.
Right.
Because it's closed.
And it's freezing.
It's damn chilly, too.
Yep. There will just be a point where the tiny amount of like atoms that exist in the universe will not move.
Well, you'll
will
reach a
just
point
stop.
where that Hardee's will disassemble atomically.
Yep.
Because there will be no...
And there will be like zero chance that you'll ever get that monster thick burger.
The monster thick burger will become theoretically impossible.
Correct.
And dissolve at the atomic level.
and so will the
And
Hardee's,
subatomic.
for that matter.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's the yeah, I mean that's why they call it the big because that's all heat is excited atoms,
Right.
You know, the more they move, the more heat is generated, and then in absolute zero there is no atomic movement whatsoever,
Yes.
or subatomic movement.
Which is really unnerving to think about. Like, at least no matter how bad it gets, all the atoms are still spinning around.
Yeah.
Protons are dancing in circles and
Yeah.
doing things. Like, it's unnerving to think about that coming to a complete halt.
Yeah.
Sorry, a lot of mine are fucking scary. Those are some weird.
Since you mentioned that, I have one here that's somewhat related because it reminds me about this thing that we talked about briefly last time about the empty space between atoms and all of that.
Yeah.
And how most things are empty space.
Yeah.
Are you aware that you could take the entire human race and if you were to squeeze it down with no empty space in between all of its subatomic particles and all of the atoms, if you were to crunch it down to its smallest, like, practical size,
Yeah.
all of the human race's bodily matter would fit into the space the size of a sugar cube.
Jesus Christ! What?
Yeah, all human matter on Earth, empty space removed, fits in a sugar cube.
So
size.
just all the atoms.
all the atoms and the subatomic stuff, everything. If you took
Wow.
out all that empty space that
So-
makes us up,
So that just says how exponentially small atoms are.
exactly.
Yeah.
How small atoms are and how much empty space. I mean, we are just on the math of it, well over 99% empty space.
Wow.
And yet appear solid, which is like super interesting.
Yeah.
If you took all that empty space out, all of us could fit in here.
Weird.
Pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Now let's try it.
Pretty hot.
Nice.
All right, everyone, I'm going to need you to smash your hard-ons together.
Yep.
At near light speed.
The large hard-on collider.
The large hard-on
They
collider.
send hard-ons in a big loop.
They just
Smash
boners
them.
smashing into each other at light speed.
Everyone in the hard-on collider. Come on, let's go. It's like Cool Runnings.
We're about to discover the oh god particle.
That's what happens when you crush dicks at light speed. I'm going to need you to get in the tube. I don't want to go in the tube. Yeah, I need you. It's for science.
for science.
You need to get in the tube.
All right.
You too, Jimmy.
Brace your dick.
You're going to be reaching speeds that shouldn't be possible.
The matter of your hard-on should slide off at light speed.
Your boner is going to pierce the veil between dimensions.
Your boner may actually have quantum superposition and be in several places at the same time.
We'll be able to time travel through your boner.
Your boner exists in the past, present, and future simultaneously.
Your boner is a fifth dimensional being.
Your boner achieves its own sentience and greatly disrupts the experiment.
Weird. Oh, I got one. Speaking of dimensional beings,
If you wish to create an apple pie from scratch, you must first send your boner into the fifth dimension.
In the tube, Jimmy. I don't want to go.
I don't want to go in the tube.
You got to put your boner in the tube, Jimmy.
So let's talk about different dimensions. And for this, I'm not going to get too wild out of control with different dimensional stuff. But are you guys familiar with Flatland?
Yeah, so we talked about this the other day at Gables, but this idea of like the Flatlander's ninth dimensional illustration was the best multi-dimension illustration I've ever seen.
Yeah. So like and this is an old.
You remember this? It's like a Flash cartoon about like people that live in a flat world, but then they're bent to.
Well, this was I don't know about the ninth dimension thing, but this was a short story that someone wrote or a novel about people that lived in two dimensions exclusively.
Correct. So like, okay, this lens wipe that I have, this Carl Zeiss lens wipe. You put it on this sheet of paper, and let's just presume that this thing is flat up against the paper. Two-dimensional space.
It has no idea it has depth.
No idea that it has depth.
Right.
So if I were to pass through this space as such, it would just see this fingy come through like as a line.
It would be a circle.
Like in cross section.
It wouldn't even be a circle. It would be a line. It would just be a line that palms through, and the line gets bigger, line gets bigger, line gets bigger, line gets smaller. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, it's still a circle in 2D space if you're coming at it in depth, right? So you have a small circle that opens and becomes a big circle.
No, it would be a line because it can only see in two dimensions.
Right, but hold on a minute. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. A circle has two dimensions.
Right. So
yeah, but it would only.
What you're talking about is seeing in one dimension. You're talking about just seeing on the x-axis.
That's one-dimensional space.
Yeah, living in a two-dimensional space means you would see two dimensions.
So if you have width but not height.
Yeah.
Then on the width scale, when this goes through, you have no idea of height, so you just see this segment here.
Right.
Yeah, that's seeing in one dimension.
Like that. And then the circle is that, but in this dimension.
So it would look like those.
This is so hard to explain
Yeah.
over a microphone to people.
And there's no way to conceive of what it's like to see in two dimensions.
Correct.
But
Mario.
Those brain scans where they like start at the top and it slowly the shape of the head is eventually start seeing the eyes.
Yes.
It would be like that. It would be
right.
like moving through a cross section of
Right.
So that's the two-dimensional.
So if I were to take,
I've heard people use that analogy to explain what humans experience when they see like an Elder One or Cthulhu. It's something that exists in more dimensions than just three.
Right.
We're just seeing a cross section of
Right,
it.
like we're seeing like some horrific geometric representation of something that doesn't make sense.
well, that's where I'm going here.
Yeah.
So like if you were to take, we're going to call this guy Juan. If we were to take Juan out of Flatland and pull him up into the third dimension and float him back down, wouldn't be able to quantify what he saw.
He doesn't know.
He would
he's
try
moving.
to explain to his buddy Jorge here that I've been up. There are creatures that
I've transcended. Also, how are we talking?
He's a French, whatever. He's a French Puerto Rican.
When? Yes, Philippe.
Yes, Philippe. It's weird.
When I am floating in space.
But you can literally pull. Like if I were to apply a slit to this lens wipe, I could pull in and just pull out the actual lens wipe on the inside of it, right? He's in Flatland. I could take a piece of him out and pull him.
Yeah.
So that is to say, if it's entirely, I'm going to Joe Rogan it here. It's entirely possible.
Fires up blunt.
Yeah. It's entirely possible that we are living dimension by dimension with fourth dimensional beings. And theoretically, if that were true, a fourth dimensional being would be able to do something like reach inside your stomach and pull out your breakfast.
Well, to access the past
as
easily as you or I manipulate the present.
Yeah, as we understand the fourth dimension, you also have to understand like visual dimensions and what we conceive dimensions to be, because a fourth dimensional being would be able to see time.
Right.
They would be able to see time moving forward.
Right.
A fifth dimensional being would be able to see time moving forward and backward.
And also produce some great music.
Yes. A sixth dimensional being would be able to see time moving forward and backward, and they'd be able to go to in a certain place, and they'd be able to go to other spaces.
Alternate possibilities.
Well, that goes up into the seventh dimension, and eighth dimension is
okay.
Eighth dimension is different possibilities in different Earths.
Yeah.
Ninth dimension is different possibilities in different galaxies. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the scale gets wider and wider until you're.
So you can picture a fourth dimensional being.
Yeah.
The way you would picture it is like if you could do like a ghost trail of everywhere I'd ever been and everything I ever did, a big long snake of every my whole life, and being able to see that all at one time, and the past and present as all one thing.
Your temporal snail trail.
Correct.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be able to go anywhere but forward in time.
Is that how that works?
That's how fourth dimension works. Fifth dimension would be able to see.
I thought
backwards.
fourth was all forwards and backward. The whole thing as one.
Yeah, it's one axis.
Yeah.
But time
But moving through that, you would only
Yeah.
be able to go forward.
time has more than one axis.
Correct. So fifth dimensional beings would be able to go return backwards, and sixth dimensional beings would be able to go to different points through time.
Sometimes I do wish I could pull out my breakfast.
Yeah, big mood. But this stuff gets insanely complicated.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit about it last week. The only way that string theory works, which bridges astrophysics and quantum physics together, is if string theory is true, which implies that there's 10 dimensions.
Right.
That's the only way that it works.
And to return to the hard-on collider,
Yeah, the large hard-on collider.
or it might have actually been a different particle accelerator, but they're pretty sure they measured the mass of not a quark, some other subatomic particle.
Quark is like insanely small.
Yeah, they measured the subatomic mass, or the mass of some subatomic particle that is supposedly, predicted to be a certain mass in string theory, and they found it to be wildly different. And if
Yes.
that's the case, string theory either needs reconciled some other way
Correct.
or doesn't work.
Yeah, string theory is basically it's not the leading theory. It's very exciting because it bridges those two aspects of physics together.
And it makes for some really fun pop science.
And it makes for some really fun pop science, but the fact of the matter is, gravity is always going to be in the way of between those two school of thoughts. That's that's the missing link we can't reconcile, because gravity doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like one or the other. Gravity fucks it up. They don't work together.
Right.
So we have to use two different maths. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is like a really nasty place for all those scientists to be in.
Yeah.
Like it's really odd to imagine like being a carpenter, for example, and every time you build something at house scale, you use like one set of measurements, principles, and expectations. And every time you build something at like dollhouse scale, nothing works.
Right.
And you gotta like use different tools and suppositions.
Right.
And like glue doesn't work. Like it's weird to work in those two completely different realms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really fucking weird.
So all this is essentially to say that it's a goddamn miracle that we've been able to inject cheese directly into the hot dog.
Yeah. What a great
Inside the hot dog.
Like, can we talk about that?
Yeah, can we?
Not just weave the cheese into the hot dog in the farcing stage where they make a hot dog paste,
Right.
but like taking something aside from the hot dog, taking something that is separate from the hot dog entity and injecting it via hypodermic needle
Inside
the hot dog, as though it were a Long John cream stick.
We talked about this briefly also at Gables, but the idea that humans have been able to so thoroughly and efficiently
Dominate.
subjugate animals to the point that we turn them into a paste.
We grind them into a paste and then
extrude
case
them into a tube.
case them in their own intestines.
Then we take their lactations and we shoot that inside of them
Yep.
in a way that is delicious to us. Add a little salt and pepper.
Perfect.
And garlic. Like, how much more completely ruthless can you be about the domination of species?
Well, you could also put eggs and bacon on top of that hot dog.
Yeah.
And we do.
And we do. Let me just crack your children, your
Unborn
kids.
poultry child fried
Cooking
on the
baby
hot dog,
chickens that
and
never
then
had a
slices
chance.
of pig meat.
Just for half a second, think about what would happen if anything did to people what we do to animals.
Yeah.
Make us into a paste, suck the milk out of our titties, put it inside of us, and then put our babies on top.
Yeah.
I think that's a DLC fatality in the new Mortal Kombat.
At least half of that doesn't sound bad.
I mean,
At least the sucking titties.
You're forgetting the most important part of this meal, though, which is, of course, the placenta. Grilled, sautéed placenta.
Remember that video of that guy that ate the placenta?
Yeah, the Swedish dude.
Yeah, it was his sister's placenta, right?
It was the
so gross.
placenta used to birth his newborn baby niece, and he lost the rock paper scissors.
I'm actually kind of grossed out thinking about it
It's
again.
really weird to me. I mean, we've talked
That's
about
on YouTube, folks. Look it up.
we've talked about cannibalism before.
I don't know how much we have.
We have a little bit. We
Yeah.
would eat each other.
Us?
Yeah.
In this room?
Yeah, Ben, I think we determined if we were to slice off part of your leg.
No, like if I lost my leg in an accident, say I lost everything below my left knee,
And then someone happened to put that on a
There was a guy that
rotisserie.
did that.
and then I happened to say, "Look, Doc, thank you for the baloney prosthesis."
Thank you for this giant Eckrich appendage.
But I have one other request. Can I take my leg home with me?
You know there's a guy that did this.
Yeah, there is a
Is there?
We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
And he cooked and ate his leg?
Well, he had friends over.
Yeah.
And prepared his leg for them.
Did they know it was his
They
leg?
knew. Yeah,
okay,
no, he
good.
wasn't like a fucking monster.
Good.
But like technically illegal,
that's-
I believe.
That's what I would do. It's my body. I can do what the fuck I want with it.
So on some level, yeah, but also there's a real danger to like if a doctor knows that you're taking that with you to not just like bury or something, but to eat. There's a medical ethical problem.
Well,
there.
I'm obviously not going to tell him I'm going to eat it. I'm going to tell him I'm going to like bronze it or something, or
Right.
have it treated in plasticine so that it can be preserved.
Right.
And then I put a lampshade over it,
That'd be about the best use for your leg.
that would be pretty awesome. But also, I would be lying to him through my teeth. I would take it home, cook it, and fully inform everyone you're about to eat my leg. Serve it
This
with
is my leg,
with
which is given for you.
some green beans, some mashed potato.
What do you think the most tasty part on a human probably? It's got to be like the same thing as like with animals where like the shoulders kind of got some fat and some muscle to it.
Yeah.
But like the leg might be a little bit lean.
Yeah, definitely the upper, like the
Ribs.
upper abdominal sort of area.
Ribs got to be good and maybe like your back fat.
Back fat's got to be pretty tough and tender.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing you render down.
Yeah. Balls.
How many meals do you think you could make out of Chris's ball sack?
Oh god, that could feed a small African nation for at least a month.
See, he walks away so we can talk about his balls when he's gone. Hey, Chris, how many people do you think you could feed with your ball sack?
If we were to cook, prepare and serve your balls.
One hungry person.
Well, are we talking about children or are we talking about and how small are the
You know,
children?
I'm going to leave that up to you.
If we're talking like children, like we'll say 6.
6 people could eat your ball sack.
No, 6-year-old children.
Oh,
I would say I could probably comfortably get 2 of them fed.
thanks for the dinner, which is also gross sexual imposition.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
Welcome
No.
to Chuck E. Cheese.
Can we get off this topic again?
I'll have the spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, all of the Chris's penis and scrotum, or not penis, no, all of the Chris's scrotum and testicles.
You're okay with the scrotum and testicles, but not the penis.
Well, if
gotta
I had to pick one, it would be
You don't have to pick in this
You
scenario.
gotta pee out of something.
yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Ben, you gotta pee out of something, Reese.
Hey, I got a body fact for you since we're talking about body stuff. Are you aware that when you get a kidney transplant, most of the time they leave your old kidneys in? You get an extra kidney.
Ew, really?
Yep.
Why?
They'll put it in your pelvis where they can find some empty space for a kidney.
Yeah,
But you'll have extra kidneys.
but why?
Because most of the time, even a poorly functioning kidney still has some function.
Oh.
So to remove a kidney that is doing some functioning is a net loss.
Gotcha.
So they'll leave you in. And when I read this, I also read a guy commenting about it that said, yeah, I've had 2 kidney transplants and have one on the way. I have 4 kidneys.
Whoa.
So people with kidney transplants have just bonus kidneys rolling around in there.
Nice.
Bonus kidneys.
Bonus kidney.
What?
That's really
Before long, that guy's gonna start needing to have his kidneys like put in his ass or something.
Yeah, where do you put
like
them all?
just in the ass cheeks?
You just gotta like find extra places to jam a kidney.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine there's some space rolling around. I mean, I don't know. I'm not completely dense. There's some space in there.
Yeah.
We'll find a spot.
Ugh.
But yeah, they will often leave the old kidneys in unless there's like a reason that they have to be removed. Bonus kidney.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. Gross shit. I mean, why not? If it's not just like rotting in there or necrotizing or some shit, then yeah, fuck it. Just
Yeah, they'll like usually still have some function.
even if they did remove it, it'd probably be twice the bill. So yeah, fuck it. Just leave it in there.
Right, just leave it in there.
All right, I got a weird odds fact for you here.
Okay.
So, according to the Pentagon, worldwide, the odds of an accidental nuclear warhead detonation are estimated to be somewhere about 1 in a million, which is
Still too much.
still way too much, right?
Too much.
Still way too much.
Once in a million things happen all the time.
Let me put this in context for you. The FAA estimates that in the United States, the odds of being involved in a commercial airline accident are 1 in 40 million.
Yep. You are 40 times more likely to suffer an accidental nuclear explosion, or the world is like
The
that
world.
likely, as you are to be in an airplane crash.
Right.
Which happens all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
It does not happen as much as you think it does.
Yeah.
right, but they happen often enough.
They make news for sure, but
This implies that there are accidental nuclear detonations around the world that we just don't know about.
You're right, actually. You're right.
Yeah.
now wait, what was the exact phrasing of that FAA statistic?
You know, I don't have the exact language in front of me. but-
Because I want to know if that includes situations where the plane makes a safe landing in the event of an emergency.
Right.
right.
It probably doesn't.
I don't think so. I think like technically the FAA classifies a crash as anything that's not a like a safe
An
landing.
emergency touchdown on like water might
Correct.
be a crash, even if no one's hurt.
Forced water landing.
Damage to the plane with no one hurt would probably not count in that statistic.
Correct. I believe this is like a catastrophic loss of life scenario.
Okay, yeah, one in 40 million, which like you said, like we hear about crashes in the news, but consider how many planes are in the air at any given moment every single day.
So, like, when I say it happens all the time, I don't mean it happens to a high percentage of flights. I just mean you can regularly, once a couple a year, expect a pretty noteworthy plane accident.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But as a subset of all flights,
Yeah.
it's really, it's way less likely than, like, as they like to say, like getting in a car accident.
Right.
You're like much more likely
Yeah,
to get in an
because
accident.
the average pilot is more responsible and more highly trained than the average motorist.
Well, and so is his automatic, takeoff.
Oh yeah,
sequence
the fancy computers, the highly trained traffic controllers, the co-pilot.
and the fact that planes want to stay in the air.
Yeah.
And that even as you
Yeah,
approach
true.
the ground, they resist touching down.
Yeah.
Like the nature of the way that works is it makes it kind of hard to have a really aggressive landing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Planes are nothing. I've been on several flights and I enjoy flying a lot. I like looking out the window, especially. But I also just like airports. I like being in, especially Pittsburgh International, where it's just like it's people from all over the world. It's a crossroads of the global community.
Airports are cool that way.
Yeah,
Man, I am so far past that. I fucking hate airports.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Once you fly enough, it's
I don't like waiting in them, but I like being in them in general.
I'm sure it'll pass, but for me it's still cool. Last time I flew, it was years ago.
it's a novelty for you and me.
Sure, but
dog shit for me.
But yeah, my point is though, none of us here are afraid of airplanes.
No.
With good reason.
Yeah.
It's not airplanes that terrify me. It's fucking Joe asshole who's going to be out driving tonight on St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly.
I'm scared a little bit during takeoff and also a little bit during landing. And that's, probably reasonable because statistically speaking, those are probably the times something's going to happen that's unpleasant.
I've been involved in some not so fun landings.
Yeah.
So,
Those are the more likely times something is going to happen that's not ideal.
I don't think I've ever had any hesitation about those because usually, from what I understand about flight, the pilots are the first to know if anything's wrong before something actually goes wrong.
Yeah.
And if I don't hear anything from them, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, they also might not necessarily hop on and be like, hey, just so you guys know, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah. I was on a flight one time.
No, but they'll tell you to like brace and put your seatbelt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was told to brace for a landing one time. Yeah, you don't want to hear that.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
I was traveling with an ex-girlfriend and she was terrified of flying.
Yeah.
Fucking terrified of flying. So much so that she was willing to drive 25 hours to go somewhere instead of just flying 2 hours. And I convinced her to go on a flight. And on the way back, we were heading back into Pittsburgh. And it was storming, storming, like not, like serious. And it was foggy. So, I don't know because he didn't walk us through everything, but I'm guessing what happened is they couldn't see the tower. They were just communicating, and the tower was guiding him via radar on where to go.
The fact that they can do that though is insane.
So, but like the pilot basically told us like it's going to be very bumpy, so be prepared. And the whole last 12 minutes of this flight was basically like you look out the window and you see lightning and you hear thunder and the plane's doing this.
Yeah, when you can feel the wings shake the fuselage, it's really.
And at one point we lost cabin pressure and the plane did this. It just plummeted down like 300 feet in the air. It just went, and it's like you ever been on the demon drop?
Oh yeah,
it's just, yeah. But it was like that for like way too long in a flight, and I felt so bad because my ex was like. It was like she was giving birth, just squeezing my hand. And it got to the point where we're starting to descend to the tower, and we got to be getting close to the ground. And then all of a sudden, he comes over the intercom and he goes, "Brace!" But it was like he said it in a way that like you're not comfortable with your pilot saying it. It was like brace.
He's nervous too.
He was like and we hit the tarmac. I'm guessing. Halfway down it. like he didn't land at the end of the tarmac. He hit the tarmac like halfway there before he hits the emergency bumper that keeps him from plowing into the rest of the airport. He hit it halfway through and then screeched the brakes. And I mean, we went from like a couple 100 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour in like 3 seconds.
I'm nervous just hearing this.
We went we legitimately had to brace and the plane went, yeah, I mean, like forced back, and he's like, he comes back on. Welcome to Pittsburgh International Airport.
I'll see you at the bar.
He's like hyperventilating.
Drinks are on me, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm like, I looked at my girlfriend, and I'm like, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So my granddad, was a Marine pilot in World War II. And he still flew like for recreation, well into his 60s and 70s, and he had in his office this printed out list of it was like one of those lists from like good clean humor.com, joke sites back in the day, but it was of like pilot mottos and pilot axioms that had been collected over the years, and one of them was a good landing is one you can walk away from.
Yep.
A great landing is one where they can use the plane again.
Yeah. Yep.
That's funny. Wow.
Terrifyingly.
I've only flown like maybe 7 times, but the worst one for sure for me was the one where a guy was screaming he had Ebola. And they were dragging him off the plane. That was so bad. We were like 5 minutes from touching down in Youngstown Regional, and the guy's screaming, "I got Ebola!" And they're trying to restrain him in the back.
Was he just drunk?
No, he was having some kind of a panic episode.
Okay.
And the flight attendants were like restraining him, And I remember looking at the person next to me and them looking at me, and it's one of those moments of like,
Hey, the human moments. We did a whole episode about
Yeah,
that.
dude in the
moment-
cowboy hat.
Yeah, right. The guy in the cowboy hat. Yeah, you had
is
your,
that the well-to-do Southern big boy?
yeah, the well-to-do Southern big boy. That was him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one
God
of those
damn it.
moments where you're like, we are in this.
Yep.
And then we waited on the tarmac for like 30 minutes for emergency crews to figure out whether they could safely get him out of there.
Yeah.
It was a fucking mess. I got another interesting fact.
Go ahead. I only have one more, so as much as you guys want to.
I hope this is I hope this is accurate, just for being accurate's sake. But this blew my mind. So the little boy bomb that blew up, obviously in Hiroshima, right?
Which was it Fat Man or Little Boy that did Hiroshima?
They claimed it was little boy. So,
Okay.
It was a
I'm
little
hoping
boy.
they're accurate, but anyway, 98.62% of the uranium-235 in that bomb was blown apart before fission could happen.
Correct.
98.62% of it was not responsible.
I know.
for the
this.
detonation.
Right. I was gonna say I do this.
Jesus Christ.
1.38% of it was left over that actually fissioned, and that 0.7 grams was enough. It weighs less than $1 bill, and it was about the size of a BB, and that's what destroyed.
Yeah. Because
entire fucking city.
by nature of the way that nuclear detonation occurs, most of that material is lost.
Right, so most of it just spreads out before fission can actually happen.
Oh, okay.
But a BB's worth of that shit fissioning was enough to destroy that entire fucking city.
Nuts, right?
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable. How? I mean, like, I get a whole bomb being destructive.
Sure.
You know, after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we had 8 more in reserve.
Yes.
If the Japanese refused to surrender, and they almost refused.
What a grim.
There was a conspiracy
To assassinate.
in the Japanese government to assassinate Hirohito to prevent him from surrendering.
Yeah, Tojo wanted to keep fighting.
One whistleblower brought down the whole conspiracy
Yeah.
and basically saved Japan.
We've talked about this a little bit before, but I think I said the last time this came up, Truman was on the phone with the emperor, like begging him. He basically he got on U.S. television and did the whole public thing, but they said behind the scenes he spoke to the emperor directly and said please, I don't want to do this.
Don't make me continue to bomb Japan.
Well, he said don't. I have. He's basically said I have this weapon that's like that will cause an incredible amount of loss of life. I don't want to use it. And then he used it because, the emperor's military advisors were like, okay,
Yeah.
and then again, he had to get on the phone and be like, I don't want to do this again.
And
please.
we still did it twice.
And he still did it twice. But that's
I guess that's war.
that's war, You need somebody in the chair to make those decisions.
Yeah.
We killed Yamamoto. We shot down his plane. I'm sorry.
well,
West
luckily,
Wing quote for you.
luckily we live in a world today where we can have things like sushi and electronic imports and tentacle hentai.
Yeah, and waifu body pillows.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we reconciled.
Yeah, dakimuras. I
And bukkake.
don't ask
and
me how I know what those are called.
porno where pubic hair is censored.
Yeah.
Whatever that's about.
Oh yeah. In pornos in Japan, you're not allowed to show genitals. You have to
Yeah.
censor them.
I wonder if that's still the case.
Oh, it is.
It is. Yeah, it is.
It is. Even in porno comics, they'll tip
The
of
tiniest
tip of
bar.
the guy's dick. They'll put a thin little black bar over it.
so
thank
weird.
goodness that's there. Otherwise, I would have known that's a fucking wang.
Thank goodness they kept me from seeing that. I don't know how I would have processed that dickhead.
Oh, God. I have one more for you guys.
All right, let's hear it. I guess we're kind of winding
Yeah,
down.
I guess.
Yeah.
Do you have more, Dave?
No, that's
I actually had one real quick one.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you didn't already know about Japanese woodcut called "The Dream of the Fisherman's Wife."
I do know that picture. That's the one with the squid sucking on that lady's pussy.
Yeah, it was made in this is a woodcut from the 17th century.
You've seen it, Chris.
It's an octopus fucking a woman, the fisherman's wife, presumably.
Sucking on her pussy more
And it is
accurately.
called the dream of the fisherman's wife, not the
Right.
nightmare.
Right, she's fantasizing.
Oh, yeah, I have seen this.
Everyone's seen that.
The original
That's some
tentacle
classic
hentai.
smut.
Yeah.
Excuse me a minute.
I'll be right back.
Be right back. r/strange boners.
File that one away for later.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? It's weird. I understand why that's erotic in a way I do not understand any other animal-based eroticism.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But something about her resignation.
Yeah.
It's like very it's artistically depicted.
Welcome to
the way that squid sucks on that lady's pussy. Is quite artistic.
Welcome to Dave Dragowski explains ancient tentacle porn.
Ancient bestiality.
I gotta say, I just understand it.
Yeah. I derive a lot of satisfaction from that.
Dave, I understand bestiality, Dragowski.
It's an exception, but I get it.
Dave Squid Sucking Dragowski.
The dream.
All right. So my last one's real quick, too, before we break here.
Wait, was that the whole thing?
That was the whole thing. I just wanted to know if you guys knew about that wood.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Real quick, the last one I have here is the total amount of memory on both of the Voyager space probes combined is 69.6
Nice.
69.63 kilobytes on both Voyagers.
Kilobytes?
Which means, and I did the math,
Voyager.
a modern cell phone would have somewhere in the ballpark on average of about 200,000 times the memory.
Yeah.
God, it's unbelievable,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
The speed. I mean, okay, so to kind of like add a little factoid to that, and I didn't want to mention it because it's not that big a deal, but we went from, between the space of time when we learned to fly and the time when we touched down on the moon was like 66 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
It's like really insane how fast that happens. And technology scales at a similarly ludicrous speed,
Sure.
which is
Yeah.
ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed.
They've gone to plaid.
Which is why it's hilarious that like a pocket calculator's worth of data or memory is floating out there. That was our best offering.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's a picture from 1953, I want to say, of IBM engineers unloading a hard drive off of a truck.
Yeah.
This thing is the size of a fucking washing machine.
Yeah.
And it was capable of storing a whopping 5 megabytes of data. Which for anyone out there who doesn't really know these units of measurement, there are MP3s that are easily larger than 5 megabytes. Your average 5-minute MP3, your average 5-minute MP3 runs in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 megabytes, depending on quality.
Hilarious.
Well, it's funny. When I remember in like middle school, someone introduced me to the idea of a terabyte as a data storage measurement.
Yeah, I remember finding out about a terabyte for the first time.
And I remember at the time I had an NEC desktop computer with 2 gigabytes of hard drive space.
Yeah.
And I thought, who the hell's ever going to need a terabyte?
Yeah. What a
Joke that is. Come on, man. Command and Conquer only takes up 200 megs.
Yeah, right. Crazy, right?
It's like nuts to think about how fast. I mean, like in our lifetimes, the amount of data we use and need has just exploded, and it's going to keep doing it.
This phone has an SD card in it that stores 64 gigabytes of data.
Right. It's 32 times the size of that computer.
Yeah.
Crazy. Worth noting, by the way, Voyager is officially in interstellar space. It's past the Oort cloud,
Right.
And it is still it's still considered an operational thing by NASA because as it's progressed through its life cycle, it's been slowly deactivating parts of its power to maintain operational status.
Yeah.
But they're still receiving data from Voyager, which is crazy.
I don't know what they're getting, though.
Very little. It's to the point now where they're like,
It's space. There's fucking nothing up there.
I can't remember how many years it has left, but it's like approaching the end of its life cycle. But we have, like, it's just really cool to me that we have something that is beyond the solar system now. It's in interstellar space. We have something that's man-made, that's out in the universe, past what we really know of. You know what I mean? We're the part that we know a lot about. It's past that.
Yeah. Did I bring up last time the fact that information has mass?
Yes, you did. I don't think you did it on that episode, but you've done it in the past.
Electronically stored information, because of the charge, has a little bit of mass.
Right. Positive charge
Right.
has electron mass.
Yes. If you were to take the mass of all of the information on the internet, it would amount to a mass roughly equivalent to that of a strawberry.
What a hilarious comparison.
That's so cool.
Right?
Here, I hold the strawberry of all human knowledge.
Jen,
Eat of it and be smart.
Jen, this is the internet.
Eat of this strawberry and know everything.
The man who knew too much.
Ah, are you brave enough to eat the strawberry of human knowledge?
Dare you nibble the strawberry of knowledge?
Ah, yes, eat of this strawberry and know everything in Wikipedia.
Guy's head explodes like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad.
Just a massive tentacle port and
It's just like math, like
Yeah, like
numbers blowing out of
banned
it.
books just flop out.
There's actually an episode of they rebooted Animaniacs, and there's an episode where Yakko wore which one's the tall one? Is that Yakko?
Yakko. Yeah.
Yakko downloads the internet into his brain.
Oh God.
and learns about everything they've missed for the past 20 years ish.
Nice.
Animani, totally insane.
Eat of this strawberry.
Fuck Dick Cheney.
Animani.
Bop, 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 bop.
Fingerprints.
All right, I have to piss. Maybe we should break.
Yeah, it's time to break.
We will be back momentarily with recommendations and what we learned.
It was a good idea, Chris.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't give you guys enough warning last time, so it's nice to actually have some plans.
I'm glad we had some time to think about it.
Yep.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Recommendations.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Hulk Hogan.
Hogan, you got a nice looking package over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hogan. I'm gonna hold you down. Macho Madness is gonna run wild in your anus.
I'm gonna kiss you tenderly on the chin.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you out to dinner. Yeah. Dwight the Clown, I'm gonna bend you over the counter. Yeah.
Hogan, I'm taking you out for a stroll up to Lover's Lane.
Yeah, I'm gonna fill you up, Hogan. Yeah.
I'm gonna read you poetry I wrote on my break.
I'm the cream of the crop, and I'm gonna cream in your bottom.
Okay, that's enough of that. We'll be back.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
Hey, everybody, how you doing? Yeah.
Is this an unedited picture of Kim Kardashian?
Is this an
Is
unedited
that really
picture?
what she looks like?
That's probably Photoshop.
It seems Photoshop.
Wait, let me look at
Even
it.
with her sort of exaggerated form.
Yeah,
that seems,
the thing is, they
Yeah, but-
like because of beauty standards, they're over hourglassing her. She's got a belly,
yeah, right.
which I think is exponentially hotter than the
Right.
phony
Yeah.
hourglass figure thing.
But doesn't she also have ass implants?
Yeah, but we're looking at her from the front.
I thought that was Nicki
profile.
Minaj.
So I think she probably has ass implants.
Yeah, but
Maybe she just naturally has that ass.
That's
but-
just not fair.
so anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna smack your implants. Yeah. Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan has ass implants.
I'm gonna
everyone
take you
knows
out to
that.
dinner. Yeah. I'll bring you back to my place and suck your penis.
I want to introduce you to my mom.
Your dress looks very lovely tonight. Yeah. Mom, this is Hulk Hogan. Yeah, he's pretty great. We're in love, Mom.
You can't stop us, Mom.
I'm gay. I'm coming out of the closet.
Mom, I'm gay and me and Hogan are dating.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
I hope you don't disown me, because it's 1980 and people aren't really cool with 1980.
Why is he telling her that? She knows what.
I don't know why I told you that, Mom. Oh, yeah, son, you know I'll always love you. Just a bit of context, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. I knew I could count on you.
Oh, yeah.
Son, to you and your new boy. She talks just like it.
Yeah.
Love conquers all, son. This is my mama, Sandy Savage. You know, I don't want you ever to think I don't love you just the way you are, son.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna make you guys dinner. Y'all want spaghetti and meatballs? Yeah.
Hogan's always welcome in my house, son.
Yeah.
So anywho,
We're not bigoted in this household, even though it's 1980.
Yeah. It was a notoriously bad year for gays. I don't know.
Maybe, yes.
Maybe.
Sort of. Yeah.
Dave, recommendations.
I don't skip me. I need a second.
Ben, recommendations.
all right, I'm going to recommend something that was recommended to all three of us a while back, but I am the only one who has so far indulged. The video game known as GTFO.
Right.
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. Yeah, goddamn right you are.
It looks great.
No, I did play around, or well, I played two missions, and it was pretty great. There's
Okay.
the Discord has a new player looking for group channel. The three guys that that joined on me were very helpful. Taught me some more specifics about the game that the video things that I watched did not. Thing you got to know about GTFO is that there is no tutorial. There's an hour-long video that I watched about the basics.
Okay.
It's
like some YouTuber's video or.
yeah, just a guy on YouTube. And so there is a learning curve.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not the worst I've ever seen by a long shot. If you have someone like Matt, who originally recommended this to us, someone like Matt who knows what they're doing, it's you'll figure it out. I will say it's early access, so stuff is changing around a lot and everything.
Do you think it's a lot of, I mean, do you find it fun overall?
What I played was really fun, yeah, and I can't wait to go deeper with
Compared
it.
to Phasmophobia.
Captain Phasma.
Phasmophobia.
Totally, two totally different things. I wouldn't say I was like frightened by the game, honestly. I think it's the first couple levels, I was told by these guys that I played with, are pretty straightforward.
Okay.
They're not going to break you. But when you get down, it's a question of, when you get down to the lower levels, it's a question of like resource management. You're working on limited ammo.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Feeling a little less powerful all the way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, compare. I think it's quite a bit more polished than Phasmo.
Okay.
I'll say that. It looks great. It runs fantastic.
Yeah, the game looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's performance wise, no complaints, which I love to see in an early access game.
Yeah.
They're on top of it. The interface is really cool. The sound design is amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, just what I've played so far has been
Very cool aesthetic.
Yeah, has been a lot of fun. I thought it took place in space. It doesn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's a subterranean facility.
Yeah, it is a massive
Like Fear-esque.
subterranean
More
facility.
like SCP-esque, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but-
Containment breach.
Yeah, because it used to be like there's industrial areas. Apparently, there's like there's some like research lab type areas, and it's been abandoned for a while, and now it's full of horrible things. Not a lot is known about the lore of this game at this point. There's obviously there's a wiki for it.
Yeah.
But people are like building this, like documenting the
Piecing
story
to-
together.
Yeah, pretty much all anyone knows about the lore so far is that this facility is somewhere in the Yucatan Peninsula.
That's cool.
It is not known exactly how far down it goes. You and your teammates are prisoners who are forced to do this by an entity called the Warden. We don't know if the we don't know if the Warden is a person, a group of people, an AI. We have no idea yet. That's basically all we know about this game so far.
That actually makes it more appealing to me.
Yeah.
That there's some mystery to it.
There's a lot of mystery. We don't know what these people did to get imprisoned. We don't know, why the Warden, what connection our imprisonment has to this clandestine labyrinthine facility. And all that presumably will get fleshed out as the game gets closer and closer to version 1. But yeah, for an early access game, it's got a good following.
Nice. We should play this together.
They just came out with matchmaking too, if you feel like playing with randos. But I would rather the 4 of us.
Absolutely.
Jump into it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, GTFO. I recommend it.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a
Alright.
shot.
Yeah.
I'll play with you guys.
Take the shot. you have your recommendation yet?
Vaguely, yeah.
Do you want me to go instead?
No, I'll go.
All right.
Go to the doctor. Just go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
If you're not feeling good, or you're feeling subpar, or if you just deal with your problems. That's my recommendation. I don't know. I feel like
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's not natural to me to deal with my problems, but
Yeah, me either.
right now this is kind of like a single focus of mine.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. It's not fun.
Right. So, I mean, like the stuff that I'm dealing with is doing really well. My blood sugar went down from the 360s to like 100 something.
That's
So that's
great.
a big drop.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
the iron in my blood under control. Too much iron in your blood. Got that under control.
Well, I got another mind-blowing fact for you. It would take 397 human beings to craft a sword out of the iron in their blood.
300. How many?
397.
All right. Well, I'll start
A
collecting.
short sword. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, but that's just my
mind-blowing.
recommendation, and I'll keep it short and sweet because we're basically a year into a global pandemic that made a lot of people feel very not good.
Yep.
My recommendation is deal with your problems. You don't just get trapped in the cycle of doing stuff the same way over and over again.
Amen.
Chris,
I'm going to call an audible on my recommendation. I will recommend what I was originally going to recommend next time.
Okay.
Once I've watched a little bit more of it.
Right.
Plus, I've already told you guys, to watch this thing.
Right.
I'm going to recommend that you go online and look up Geno Samuel 2.1's Chris Chan documentary.
Oh,
which
yeah,
as
yeah,
of the recording of this episode is 52 parts long. I'm serious. Each episode is like 40 minutes.
write that down.
So, like, for anybody who doesn't know anything about Chris Chan,
internet celebrity.
yeah, she's basically the most documented person, maybe in history at this point that you know what I mean? Every aspect of this person's life has been chronicled by internet trolls, basically. She started as an autistic male, and then she's trans now. She transitioned. So she went from Christian Weston Chandler to actually at first it was Christopher Weston Chandler, then Christian Weston Chandler.
Oh, really?
Now she goes by Christine.
Okay.
And
It's a
there's
versatile name.
yeah, it is. And there's like weird debate amongst the chanologists of like weird transphobia shit. Like,
Well, of course.
yeah, like still like dead naming her and referring to her by the male pronouns. Chris Chan has enough problems without me not respecting her pronouns.
Yeah,
So
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna play it cool here, and just if you don't know anything about this, it is an internet rabbit hole. It's basically about this person who is a high functioning autistic, and nobody in this story is good. There's not nobody involved in this story at all.
Not even her. Really.
Not even her at all. Yeah, But does that mean that she deserves to be tortured?
No,
of course,
certainly not.
But then that's kind of what the story is. And I'm going to just say, I'm not one of these liberal trigger warning people. I'm going to put a trigger warning on this.
Yeah.
Because there is some truly awful things that happen to this person.
Yep.
Like truly awful.
And by this person.
And by this person.
You'll find out that Chris Chan says some terrible things, does some terrible things, and also terrible things are said and done to her.
Correct.
So
No, but I will tell you that the things that are done, the punishments that are done to her in the name of trolling are like so far beyond the things that she does incorrectly throughout her life.
Yeah, that bad.
They are like reprehensible. Some of the shits that's done to her.
Yeah, because it's internet basement versions.
Yeah, it's right. So like, and like I said, I'm going to put a trigger warning on here for sexual manipulation, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, mental manipulation.
Yeah.
At this point, Chris Chan is basically. She's
a bit of racism here and there too.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. But Chris Chan has basically lost her mind at this point. Like,
I think you could see it almost as a feral child of the internet.
Right. And I don't want to get, because we actually have some weird personal connection to this that I don't want to get into here for the sake of not being part of this story.
Yeah.
But we do actually have some connection to this. And, it's a sad story. So buckle up. There's parts of it that are funny. There's parts of it. It's like fucking Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
It's funny until it's not funny anymore. And then it becomes very not funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I believe it.
It is a fascinating story. It's just this person whose entire life has been documented. As of right now, they're on the year 2016. Started in the year.
Oh my God.
Let's start at the beginning, basically. He's 52 episodes in. He's on 2016.
Oh my God.
And we're not even at this point to the worst of what's happened to her at this point.
Really?
And there's been some terrible shit that happened.
I haven't been keeping up since years and years.
Yeah, we're getting to the Idea Guys saga, which I don't know a ton about, but I know is fucking awful. She basically got extorted out of thousands of dollars. So it's this horrible, horrible thing.
It's almost like to observe it is somehow to participate in it, isn't it?
It is.
Because
but you're
we're
going
all part of the internet.
You're going to understand right away why so many people are drawn to this story.
Yeah.
If you watch it. It's tremendously fascinating. It's dark. It's sad.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So this guy has gone, he's done his due diligence basically to be unbiased and present the information, as it's like organized without prejudice.
It's also weird because internet drama tends to lend itself to all kinds of this person said this, that person said that.
Yeah, no, this is like video documented. A lot of this person's life is out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to dive down that rabbit hole, it's worth a watch. Just, be prepared for some really sad, uncomfortable shit if you're going to watch it. I'm presuming there's a reason you guys haven't touched this story on Goose Chase yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't feel comfortable even getting close to it.
I wouldn't,
because it's so much about the worst of the internet.
Because of you know what I mean,
right?
Like you don't want to be involved in this.
Even just commenting on it almost feels like engaging in the bullying.
Yes.
So you have to have a really gentle hand.
You have to kind of get through that if you're going to watch this documentary because you're falling down the rabbit hole. I will tell you that I watched part of this with my wife. I was sitting in bed and I had headphones on and she was watching something on TV and she just saw me sit up in bed and go like this.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And I put one of the headphones in her ear and we both just kind of like he gets fucking crazy. This thing gets nuts.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to have to watch this.
yeah, just be prepared to sink 36 hours of your life into it at this point because that's what it is.
Oh my God.
Dude, I watched the entirety of Cheers,
Yeah.
sinking hours and hours of my life into
Basically
something.
the
Same thing. So
Fucking World of Warcraft.
so if you just type in Chris Chan documentary, the channel is Gino Samuel. He's on part 52.
Hey, Gino.
Hey, Gino Samuel. Oh.
Oh, was you making a little film? Make a movie or
Yeah,
something?
man, what, you making some kind of movie or something? What, you making some kind of fucking movie or something?
Some kind of fucking docu-series?
Tone, it's just...
Don't they got movies on the internet now?
Tone, this woman, she's been through a lot in her life.
I got to think about this fucking shit.
I got to think about this fucking shit. This fucking YouTube documentary.
I got a fucking business to run.
I got a fucking business to run.
I got fucking business to run.
You're right,
Everybody tells you what to watch on the internet.
Yeah.
You don't got enough time.
You're right. You're right, T. You're right.
You're right, Dean.
It's all right.
So,
Shall we break this, boys?
Yeah. What did we learn?
Oh God, I
We
learned.
learned Chris has fat fucking balls.
yeah.
Way just
Boy, did we.
Boy, am I really glad I brought that up. Why did I
Always
do that?
in the way.
Why did I?
cantaloupes.
Something about the microphone makes you want to divulge.
You guys want to know some weird unrequested information about me? Some giant balls. And they're just getting bigger.
I have to go get them checked now.
Does Alec Baldwin have huge cancerous balls?
This is my favorite.
That's my favorite Zen koan.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to go to the bar? Do I? Does Alec Baldwin have huge cancerous balls?
If we find out you have cancer in your balls, I'm going to be very, very not okay with this joke.
Oh, I will be so okay with this joke.
Yeah, shit, I'll get the garden shears, man.
Actually, I take it back. I'll be saying, do I? Does Chris Brady have huge cancerous balls? Please get your balls checked.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I actually
I'm
am
sure
going
they're
to now
fine.
because you guys just
I'm sure they're fine.
you put the spooky fear of God in me.
I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they are too, but it's probably a good idea.
It's probably fine.
Couldn't hurt to get him squeezed a little bit.
I
Can only help.
yeah.
I learned that the act of stapling Prince Philip's body together implies the existence of a royal stapler.
Oh, nice.
Madam,
So
the
Fred-
royal stapler.
Sir Frederick Stapler to the prince.
I wrote Optimus Ben, dude bots roll out.
I wrote that I can't. That I choose to spit the splurt. Sport the splurt.
Splurt the splurt.
All the blart.
I wrote deep fake your dad.
I wrote that Glover haunts my dreams.
I got it too. Glover and the hamburger helper glove both hate Arabs.
They don't like Arabs.
Yeah.
I've retained the legal services of Steven Pinker and Joshua Stinker.
I wrote that dimensional science needs your boner, so get in the tube.
Nice. I got
tube, Jimmy.
But linguists have really strong asshole muscles.
I learned that Zipf's law actually really scares me.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
I learned that Jorge is concerned with Juan's use of psychedelics.
I wrote Timmy, put your dick in the large hard-on collider.
I learned that there is such a thing as the strawberry of knowledge. Eating it to become wise.
Nibble if you dare.
Yes.
Have we anything else?
One more. I learned that Hulk Hogan's mom is, Macho Man's
Yeah.
mom. It's Macho Man's mom.
Yeah.
It's very pro-gay, very progressive.
Very, yeah, for 1980. Yeah.
I love you,
Very
son.
tolerant and very open and accepting.
Well, thanks, Mom. Even though it's 1980, I'm pretty ahead of my time on this one. Hulk Hogan, you want some of this pasta I made extra? I'm so happy you treat my boy right, brother. Mother. Mother. Mother.
That's all I got.
All right. We will be back next time when it's Ham Slam's turn. Ham Slam Drog.
It's my turn.
It'll be Slam's turn.
Do we do it in the ham slam jog order?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to remember that.
That's
that makes
how
it
we've
really
always
easy.
done it for 5 years
I
now.
haven't paid attention. Now I can remember whose turn it is.
Yep. Ham Slam Drog.
Great. I always have to literally go through episodes and go, who did what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will be back next time with Ben's topic or maybe a guest topic. Who knows? Whatever. Fuck it.
Well, fuck it. Maybe we won't be back.
Maybe we won't be. Maybe this is the last episode.
Maybe the robot apocalypse happens.
Yeah.
Maybe we all get filthy rich and quit doing this and move to separate parts of the world.
If we get filthy rich, we're doing this for money exclusively.
If we get filthy rich, we have a compound to do this from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We can hope. Anyway.
Sponsor us, Wendy's.
Yep. Wendy's won't give you as much diarrhea as Arby's. And definitely not as much as Subway.
I'm thinking less diarrhea.
Subway rape kids.
No.
All right.
That was their official slogan for a little while.
A little bit, yeah.
It didn't test well.
No. Not at all. Let's get out of this.
All right.
We'll be back.
We'll be back with some fat fucking balls in 2 weeks.
Yep, thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.